just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to an episode of Bloke in a Bar. And just a quick shout out, NordVPN Defense Play of the Week. It is back, and you're seeing them. The jackets, they are dropping. So you've got the maroon jacket, you've got the blue jacket. They are dropping next week, 6 p.m. Very, very, very limited number, guys. These are high-quality jackets. You will not be disappointed. Make sure to be there next Monday, 6 p.m. Maroon and blue. Do not miss out, guys. Also, what else have we got going on? That's it. Oh, well, Magic Round. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone that came to the live show, but also just the random punters we saw. Caxton Street at Suncorp Stadium. It was an incredible weekend, and it's a really good reminder of just how lucky and fortunate we are. So thank you so much. You definitely made my weekend memorable. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, fuck it. Sometimes you can get in the washing machine of content, and you kind of don't really. Sometimes you get a bit flat, and then you go to these weekends and you really realize how big the show is. It really, really does humble you. So thank you so much to everyone that made the weekend so memorable. Let's just get straight into it, though. Let's face a bit of music brought to you by friends over at Sportsbet.
Yeah, I wanted to echo that as well. Had a great time at the live show. And shout out to Sterling and the team at the Caxton Hotel as well, who look after us every year. It is the best place on earth. So had a great time up there.
What about the announcement of Big Nas versus Georgie Burgess in the Caxton Hotel car park?
Oh, baby. How good.
That's rugby league. That's rugby league.
That's rugby league as it gets.
Yes.
Yeah. Before you interface the music, I actually wanted to kick off with Hammy's Hammer.
Okay.
Brought to you by Sportsbet, if that's okay. Now, I'm presenting Hammy's Hammer on behalf of some friends of the show today.
Okay.
You'll be familiar with all these names: Clutzy, Donny, Nilso, Roasty, Darcy, etc. Rather than explain, maybe we might just hear from them. They had a special announcement at the Caxton last night.
Yep.
Over the PA system, across all microphones in the Caxton, including the car park.
At peak time?
At peak time. They had this to say straight after the 6:15 game on Sunday.
Hello guys, there's been a lot of fantastic performances happening since Thursday night, but there has been one man who has been the biggest coward over this entire weekend. As per usual, he was in business class at midday back to Sydney. This year, we award the biggest coward of Magic Round for 2026 to Nathan, the rugby league.
Holy shit.
The whole pub losing their mind. Losing their mind.
Holy shit. That's back-to-back for you, isn't it?
4 years running, yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you what, this Sunday at Magic, it looks like fun, mate. All they do is sit around and talk about fucking me.
Oh,
What else are they doing with themselves?
Wow.
4 years running.
Yeah, well, when you're not there to defend yourself, it's very easy to talk about it. Now, obviously you were unable to be there to receive your award on the night. So I took the liberty of checking a bag, getting to the airport a little bit early this morning. Without further ado, big round of applause for him.
I thought he was a bit quiet today, Hammy. He must have been preparing this. Oh, holy shit. It's
Biggest Magic Round coward, Nathan Rugby League Guru 2026. And you weren't able to do an acceptance speech, so I'm going to bring it over. If you just want to barrel that camera and give us 30 seconds of your best, Guru. Big round of applause.
That's good stuff.
It's intentionally got holes in it because they know you won't scull out of it.
Quick photo for the newsletter.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Holy
How
shit. Holy shit.
I'd just like to thank everyone involved. I almost didn't make it up there, Kempy.
Oh, my.
They just had to rally, make it work.
Oh, my
Shout out to
fucking
the
God.
Star Casino. I think that place probably closed down after what I did to it the other night. How good.
Now, Donny,
Well deserved.
Donny went to the liberty of designing that.
Who?
Donny.
Who?
Holy shit.
Donny.
Well, the guy that...
I've never heard of him.
The guy that...
Is that
the
the
guy
guy
that
with the Jason
designed-
Ackermanis haircut?
That's him.
That's
him.
it. Yeah, I think I've seen him. Yeah.
He said it's designed with holes in it because it'll hold its piss about as well as you. So,
Holy shit.
so there you go. Well done, Guru.
Well done, Guru. Back to back. You're like the
you.
Penrith Panthers of being a coward.
I
Tell
think
me
we're
about it. Right here.
we're in the midst of a dynasty, so just enjoy greatness while it lasts. All right, so that's Hammy's Hammer for this week. Well done, Guru. Well deserved. All right, let's get into Face the Music now. Some big games, some big blowouts across the weekend, but the first game of the week, Sharks 38 defeat the Dogs 16. Kempy took the Dogs 13 plus. Unlucky bra, just missed out there. Matty and myself took the Sharks minus 5.5. Roo off to a flyer. Sharkies 13 plus.
What do I get for it?
You got $2.75.
Not bad.
Not too bad. Not too bad. It gets better because the next game, Souths 10, defeated by Finns 32. Poor old Matty, the only one to take Souths head to head. Myself and Kempy, $1.97 for the Finns head to head. Roo, 2 from 2, 13 plus for the Finns, $4.20.
Oh my God.
Starting nicely.
Stop the fight. It's over.
God.
Starting
Call
nicely.
it.
All right, then we get on to Super Saturday. Tigers 18 defeated by Manly 46. Tigers robbed. I took the Tigers. Lehigh Hopewadi pushed the ref. Should have been sent off. That cost us the game in the end. So I'm sure we'll get to that when we review that game. You guys all took Manly in some way, shape or form. $1.34 head to head. Matty had a -9.5 for the $1.90. Then we go on to probably the biggest upset of the weekend. You blokes all took the Cowboys 13 plus. You got a little bit too greedy. I took them head to head, so I get $4.20 because I get it. I
Called
get
that
it.
one too. Filthy.
Eels 8 defeated by Storm 34. Kempy took Eels 13 plus. Lol. Rude took the Eels plus 7.5. Wrong. Matty took the Storm -7.5. Well done. Myself Storm 13 plus $2.30. 4 from 5 for me, just quietly getting into my work nicely across Magic Round. If the Tigers hadn't been robbed, I'd be 5 from 5 as well. Titans 12. Defeated by the Knights 36 in the Matty Johns Cup. Kempy took the Titans 13 plus, seeing them like absolute grains of sand through Magic Round. Rue had the Knights 1-12, missed out. Matty had the Knights -10.5 tick. I had the Knights 13 plus, bang, for $2.03.
Did you say I had the Knights 13 plus? Did I have the Titans 13 plus?
Titans 13
yeah,
plus.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not doing well, mate.
That's all right.
Yeah. Then we get on to Beak Bowl. Waz 42 defeated the Broncos 12. Kevin took the Broncos head to head. Lol. Rue had the Waz -2.5. Well done. Matty and myself had the Waz 13 plus for $3.30. I'm six from 7 here. 6-7. Then the last game of the round. Panthers 28 defeat the Dragons 6. The line was 25.5. I took Penrith to cover. The Dragons had a little bit too much ticker for me. Matty and Rue, you had the Panthers 1-12, got a bit too cute with it. Well done to Kempy, the only one to get any points here. He took the Panthers head to head for $1.04. Well done. Well done.
That's great punning. That's great, smart punning.
Well done.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. So round 10 results. Myself, $15.70.
Ooh.
Matty, $10.90. Rue, $10.79. Kempy, $4.35. Hang in there, baby. Got to come good eventually. Overall, raised the bat, Rue, $101.47.
Scunjo.
Yeah, raised
yeah,
the
good.
trophy, mate. Good stuff.
Love
Myself, $97.28. Matty, $83.35. Kempy, $56.49. Just ahead of Timmy.
Hey, half century. Well done.
Yeah.
Just ahead of Timmy, who hasn't been playing.
Well, I'm
in 2
chasing my
months.
tail now. The last 4 weeks, I've been trying to get the big 13 pluses, and obviously, it's making it worse.
Chasing your tail. A little bit like the Broncos at the moment. And Timmy, $45.
Because the Tigers are going much better.
Yeah,
Fuck
well,
me.
big-
Benji's lost the dressing room.
Don't worry about our Magic Round hangover. Big premiership hangover at the Broncos.
It's better than a fucking Magic Round hangover.
Is it?
I've had a premiership hangover. You won the premiership.
Yeah. But now you're hungover and embarrassing yourselves. Anyway, that's Face the Music. The gap extends on Kempy. And see how we go this week.
Oh, that's Face the Music. Give us a follow on the feed. And there's also some new features out. I don't know if I can actually announce it, but there was a big crew that was in. I don't know if you can.
Oh, yeah. There's a Den and Day Lewis will be making another appearance on your feeds very soon. We shot
Yes.
the big Origin skit.
But also the feature on the feed.
No, don't announce that yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
keep that one up your sleeve, but watch this space. Plenty of good Origin content on its way.
Okay, there we go. That's Sportsbet. Thank you so much, as always. Alrighty, big news. Origin chat. Teams have dropped. There's controversy. There's absolutely controversy. Now, the KO can't miss moment is obviously Origin. We cannot miss it. All the chat around Origin is going to be there. Plus, you've got the bye round games. Round 12 is here with State of Origin players away. Each team's depth will be tested. Thursday night, Rabbitohs versus Dolphins. Friday, Bulldogs Storm. Super Saturday, you can watch both games. Both Super Saturday NRL games exclusively live on Fox League, included with KO. Dragons versus the Warriors and Seagulls versus Titans. And then you got the Cowboys versus Rabbitohs Sunday, Arvo/night. Remember, the only place you can watch every game and every round live with no ad breaks during play is Fox League, available on KO. Alrighty, at number 1 for the Blues, James Tedesco. 2, Brian To'o. 3, Katoni Staggs. 4, Critter. 5, Kohler. 6, Mitchell Moses. 7, Nathan Cleary. 8, Adam Fanua-Blake. Reese Robson at 9. 10, Mitch Barnett. 11, Hudson Young. 12, Olakawatu. 13, Isaiah Yeo. 14, Cam Murray. 15, Victor Radley. 16, Jacob Saifiti. 17, Blake Brayley. 18, Ethan Strange. 19, Casey McLean. And 20, Dylan Lucas.
Who was that in the 19?
Casey Maguire.
Casey Maguire.
Casey Maguire, yes.
Dual Originist. How good.
Yep.
Yeah, 46 years old and a Queenslander. Interesting selection.
I didn't
Find
know
a way.
They changed the eligibility rules. I didn't think they changed them that much. Fucking hell.
Lozball.
Christ alive.
Lozball.
I'll go to you first, roommate. Initial reaction to the Blue squad.
I'm okay with most of the starting side. I think Teddy at fullback is the right decision. I'm a little bit nervous about Kohler on the wing, but I think he'll do a job there. I probably still would have gone Fox or Campbell Graham, but Kohler's form's been so good that I can live with it. Outside of that, the starting side, I'm okay with. The bench, it's a little bit of a concern for me. I don't. We're talking in the green room before about just how the game's going to play out. Everything goes to plan, where guys are going to play, how they're going to be used and everything. That's where I get a little bit confused there. I think Jacob Saifidi's come from the clouds for me a little bit. A lot of guys you could have picked on the bench there. But I'll also say this about Jacob Saifidi, that I think that previously he's been over the top criticised by fans based on his performances for New South Wales. I actually think he's been all right when he has worn sky blue. But I wouldn't have gone with him in this game. But considering some of the teams we've picked in the past, not the worst by any means.
Tommy Bomb?
Yeah, I reckon pretty similar to Rue. Like I think the starting side's pretty spot on. I like the fact that they've gone Robson and Teddy together. Like I think at club they've started to form a bit of a nice combo, and I think Tolu on the wing, a little bit left field, but I sort of can understand. Like he's in great form. He showed over the weekend how quick he is. Obviously, we know that, but probably something we've lacked a little bit in comparison to the Maroons' backline last few years is speed, and he's obviously one of the quickest, if not the quickest in the comp. So I'm okay with that. Yeah, with the bench, I don't know. I thought Jackson Ford would get at least a look in somewhere in the squad. I thought he'd done enough there. Does Blake Brayley get on if everything goes to plan? Is he just there as cover? Like, it's a little bit confusing, but yeah, good to see Dylan Lucas in there too. I don't know how they're going to use him, but
Matty, what do you reckon, mate? You got no mic? Hammy, thoughts, mate?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, I'm not really sure, to you guys' point, what the plan with the bench is. I know we've spoken a little bit, Kempy, and you've been quite big on it. Yo in the front row and Cam Murray starting at 13. I'd probably would have had then Adam Fanua-Blake off the bench. You know you're going to get big impact of him off the bench. I'm kind of looking at that bench. I'm like, who comes on and is that psycho who's just going to change the game? You know, maybe it's Radley. Maybe that's the role they've kind of given him. But in years gone by, I've had like a back fence Spence or, I also look at that bench and I go, what? Alex Twal and Terrell May play table tennis, do they? Where are they? How are they not getting a start? So it's just, there's some great players on there. I just don't know what the plan is. How are they going to execute that bench and use that to make sure they've got a bit of impact. They've got a bit of cover there. Impact-wise, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, so I think the starting side, I'd probably switch Critter and Kohler. Outside of that, I'm pretty happy with the starting side. Yo, I would go at 10, but if they're going to Yo first 20 minutes at 13, then put him at 10 or in the front row and bring Cam Murray on at 13, I'll cop it, even though I think Cam Murray should start. So the starting side, I agree. I'm pretty happy with it. In regards to the bench, look, individually, I'm not shocked that much when you just look at them individually as players. Like Victor Radley, he's a good player. Jacob Saifidi, I agree with you, Rue. He's actually been pretty good. Not like set the world alight, but been pretty good at Origin. Blake Brayley, Ethan Strange, Case McLean, and Dylan Lucas. Individually, I get it. As a cohesive unit in regards to how they're going to be used, though, I don't understand. Okay, so you've got Isaiah Yeo, Cam Murray, that are both 13s and can both play 80 minutes easy in Origin. So Cam Murray's minimum going to play 60 minutes. Isaiah Yeo's minimum going to play 60 minutes. Then you've got Jacob Saifidi, who's the out-and-out front rower, so he has to be rotated with the front row rotation. Then you've got Blake Brayley, who Reece Robson, you don't want to waste an interchange with bringing Blake Brayley on if Reece Robson can play 80. So let's say Reece Robson does play the 80. I just don't know how Victor Radley is going to really be used because he's a 13. He's not a front rower. He's okay on the edge. When you've got guys like Keon and even Jackson Ford, but look, if you're going to look past Jackson Ford just because it's been this year where he's been unbelievable, maybe I can understand. I agree with you though. I'm surprised he's not there. But like a guy like Keon, unless he's injured or something, he can play anywhere in the front row. I just don't know how you use Victor Radley, and that's what's surprising me. So if you're going to use Blake Brayley, you probably can't use Ethan Strange. So where's Ethan Strange going to come on? The bench at this stage at least, it feels like it's been selected by a coach that hasn't coached club footy in quite a while. And I'm just surprised that, as I said, individually, I don't have an issue. Like, I do think Keon and Jackson Ford have played better than Victor Radley and Saifidi. However, I can get around it. I just don't know what role they'll play when they get on.
I think that's the big one with Victor Radley, just working out what his role's going to be. Mate, to be honest with you, the Jackson Ford stuff, I don't think he was an absolute must-have in this side. I'm sort of on the side of he's played 10 fantastic games this year, but there has been 6 years before that of sort of in and out of first grade errors, all that stuff. You was my witness, Kevin. No one's been a bigger Jackson Ford fan than me.
For sure, and I get what you're saying too. It's been 10 really good games.
10 really good games. It's fantastic. Let's see it in finals. 10 good games doesn't absolutely guarantee you in there. I would have had Keon on my bench for sure over Saifidi there. The other one for me, mate, and you mentioned it a few weeks ago, Tommy, if you're going to pick Radley, I would imagine part of the thinking is with the new modern game, a slightly smaller body, different body shapes, all that sort of stuff. I think Tallis Duncan would have been perfect on that bench.
And Radley, like, he's not necessarily fast forward. He's a tough as fuck forward. He's a locker room guy. He's a spirit guy. What are your thoughts, mate, as a Roosters fan?
Yeah, I probably would have, I'm happy for Rads. I think there was a few years ago where against your boys, he got a bit unlucky in terms of a couple of high tackles, whatever, and he probably was going to be the guy. And then since then, he sort of missed the boat. Cam Murray and Yo burst onto the scene. So in that sense, I'm glad to see him get a start finally. But I would have gone with Tallis as well, to be honest. I was pretty vocal on that because I think having him on that bench means that he provides centre coverage. I know we've got Dill Lucas there, but Tallis actually came through as a genuine lock. So he can sort of be that point of difference through the middle. Honestly, the more I'm looking at this bench, I'm thinking I've been pretty vocal about the fact that if Cam Murray plays edge in this game, I'm going to lose my mind. And as I sort of look there and I see Rads is there, Jacob Saifidi's there, is there a world where we're still going to do that? Surely not, right?
Does Dylan Lucas come in and Radley doesn't get on the field? Is that the edge coverage?
If you're coaching this side, Murray gets on the field, Saifidi has to get on the field.
Yeah,
I would assume Radley has to get on the field. What are you doing then? My other man that I would probably use is Strangey. I don't think you need to run with two-prong hooker. I think Blake Brayley's there as a break the glass if there's an emergency. Get him on the field if something happens to Robson. I'd go with Strangey. Just to put him on, not even give him a role, just let him go and fucking run. That's where he does his best footy anyway. What are you guys sort of thinking? Who would you use from that bench?
Well, I guess if so, Yo's going to play 60. Let's just say Yo plays 80 and Cam Murray plays 60. Jacob Saifidi's going to get a role there. So you'd probably have to bring Ethan Strange on you'd have to take Yo off, I guess, or Cam Murray, because he'd have to come on at 13. Wouldn't he? Like, as in the middle three.
Yes.
Or 9, but I wouldn't put Strange in 9 because of service.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him at 9. I just put him on sort of as a roaming 13. I think there's going to be a world here where Cam Murray, when he gets on the field, he's going to almost be playing as a front row forward. I think.
So there's a world where it could be Yo, Murray, and Strange at 13. Do you think?
I think so. Yeah.
Yep.
Just reading this team list and how it's going to play out.
And how many minutes do you reckon Saifidi's getting?
Well, Mitch Barnett has played what? How many minutes did he play on the weekend? 50 odd or so. Mitch Barnett. He hasn't played in 2 or 3 weeks. He hasn't got much footy under the belt right now. AFB. We know he can play these huge minutes. He hasn't really been doing it for the Sharkies for the last year or so as well. Was he an automatic for everyone, AFB?
I had him in. To be honest, there weren't many people that were automatic for me, other than your To'os. Anyway, so it wasn't automatic. However, I had him in my starting side. Adam Blake.
Last 2 weeks, he's probably cemented that for me. I like the term you used before, break the glass, guys. I reckon the two there are Casey McLean and Blake Brayley, and then I think he's got plans for everyone else. Could he potentially move AFB to the bench and start one of those other guys? Like you bring Murray into the starting side or something? I don't know.
Honestly, looking at this, if you're looking at it like 18, 19, and 20, let's just assume that they're actually 18, 19, and 20, so they're break the glass guys. There's a chance where you could not use 2 of your bench here. There's a chance you could not use Brayley and not use Radley.
Yes, which, under normal circumstances, I think that would be a bit alarming. But when I'm looking at the guys there, you probably want Yo and Murray playing those big minutes that we were talking about. So they're going to both be on the field. You probably want Robson going 80 if he can, provided there's no injury. So I think when you keep that in mind, it sort of makes a bit more sense. But I'm still nervous.
Would anyone else here run with a 2-prong hooker attack? Go in with a plan to use both of them? Everything going to plan?
I don't think so. No, I would. Strange was my 14.
Yeah.
Strange was my 14, and I would have had Keon as a front row / edge coverage, and even potentially Jackson Ford. But I'd have to relook at what I. But yeah, I just look at this bench, and it just the only thing that could make sense is Dylan Lucas is essentially he's the edge cover, and he's going to come on the field.
I think if you were going to run with another hooker on your bench to actually use as part of your 80-minute game plan, everything goes to plan, I think Appy probably would have been.
Has to be Appy, yeah.
personally.
Yeah, it's
I
not
think
those
so.
two guys. Like I'd be shocked beyond belief if they're going in with a two-prong plan with these two blokes doing it.
Yeah. Sure, but do we read into it all how he's named this?
That's
I know that sounds stupid, but I reckon I reckon there's a good chance Laurie Daly has just named this in how he plans to use them. I reckon there's every chance he's planning to go with two hookers in this game.
Yeah, see, then I don't understand what the rotation will be. You'll essentially, Victor will be coming on as a front rower, I guess.
Yep. Well, he has to, doesn't he?
You've got 2 13s in this.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to put Radley on the edge, but Radley on the edge is serviceable, but that's not his best spot.
No. And what, you're going to take off Hudson or Hamole, who can both play 80 to
And you've
put
got
Rads
Dylan
on an edge?
You've got Dylan Lucas there, who is one of the best edges in the comp.
And he could have impact off the bench. So, like, let's say the game was at a bit of a standstill or in the balance and you wanted a point of difference, then if they were throwing on Dylan Lucas or, say, like Strangey through the middle, like, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You're not taking off Hudson or Hamole to put Rads on the edge for that sort of effect. Like, it's crazy. I'm even looking at this now thinking, like, is there a chance that Rads is coverage if Yo or Murray goes down? Like, is he just there as, like, a guy that if something was to go wrong?
So if you're not using Radley, you've got Murray, Saifidi, Brayley and Strange you're using?
I hope they're using Strange. Like, because the other guys... But then again, I don't know. What makes it hard, if you were just going on common sense and how you would do it based on how they're all playing now, you assume Hudson Young and Hamole are playing 80, but they haven't done that in the past, the way they've used these guys. They've taken Hudson off, they've brought him off the bench, so...
The only thing I could think of is, so either Hudson or Hamole aren't going to play 80, Dylan Lucas gets brought on, and Victor Radley or Saifidi aren't used. But you're probably going to have to use... Like, Saifidi is an interesting one because with how fast the game is he going to be able to keep up with this version of Origin, with how big he is? He's a big, big boy.
Yeah, and like when you consider the options that we had, so many of those guys are more suited to the modern style.
Like, Keon's mobility is crazy for how good he is. Jackson Ford, mobility, great. Terrell May's motor, insane. Probably Terrell May probably leans a little bit more into the Jacob Saifidi big boy, big bopper thing. But
Twiley, good motor as well.
Yep.
He's not saying that's why he's not there, but he's injured, right? Like, I mean, what frustrates me about them leaving Jackson Ford out, because I 100% get what you were saying, Real, about like the fact that it's 10 good games, but him and Barnett and what they've been doing with someone like Aaron Clark there at 13 and some of the ball playing variation and that. You got Yo there who's like that. Rads can do that. Murray can do that. If they're bringing Strangey on through the middle, you're going to have a ball playing middle there that knows what they're doing. Those two guys play with a guy week in, week out that does it. So to me, it's a bit stupid to leave him out for someone who, like you said, there's questions about whether he's up to the speed of the game. Like, doesn't make sense to me anyway. It would have made sense to have those two as part of their club combo. They play with a guy who that's the brand that it looks like they want to go for if they're starting with Yo at 13 still over Murray.
And I know Warriors fans are going to come on. He was good last year. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, he was good last year, but he wasn't one of the best front rowers in the comp. He's been one of the best front rowers in the comp this year. So it's definitely like, it's obviously interesting, but I am quite confused at what is going to happen here. And maybe it's because it's a 6-man bench that's confusing us, and like it maybe Laurie Daly has named it, but like the bench is just the bench. Like, it's not actually, the numbers are irrelevant. If that's the case, I could see for sure. Like, if you had to put Victor Radley in the 20 jersey and you put Dylan Lucas in the 15 jersey and Brayley in the 18 jersey and Strange in the 17 jersey, then I could be like, oh, I can see how this works.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the case, what we're looking at.
Yeah, and to Loz's credit, like, there's a lot of coverage there on the bench in terms of however you're going to use them. There's 6 guys there that you can pretty much cover everything. And if I'm looking at the starting side, like, a lot of them, if they are playing 80, like Huddy, Hamole, you got Cooler on the wing there. Our centers, there's a lot of strike there, and even like, Teddy around the middle, as long as he sort of finds his balance in terms of the dynamic of the side. Him and Robson have had a pretty good combo. some guys there that can generate offloads too, which I think is important in Origin because of the speed of the game and just how good the defence is. Like, you sort of need to be able to break down the defence differently. So I'm pretty happy with the starting side, I think.
Is anyone surprised Mitch Barnett starting?
I was about to ask. I would have had him in my side, but I know when I spoke about it last week, I got a lot of pushback on it from people. I would have picked him. I just needed him to get through that game the other night. But I am surprised that they picked him a little bit.
Because he's had one full... Because he got a head knock, was it? HIA a couple of weeks ago?
I think he's played one game in 3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
He said it.
And he also was injured before that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I'm okay with him playing, but like I think
I'm okay with it. Yeah, it's not... I'm just... it wasn't like he was a lock.
Yeah.
It wasn't
No,
like he was a
100%.
lock.
Yeah, those front rows, they definitely suit, like, if they're going to use Yo, how they normally use him in terms of as a link, like, that suits it.
When we look at the back line, we assume Staggs will be right centre. We all agree?
Yeah.
Critter at left centre by the looks of that. So do you pair Critter and Toto up together on the left side, and then does that mean you're playing Kohler on the right wing, or is Kohler staying at his normal left side and he's playing left wing outside Critter, or do you lean into the combination of Toto and Critter that have played together? That's what I'd sort of lean towards doing, but I don't love playing. If I knew I was going to be playing Kohler on the right wing, I probably would have gone Campbell Graham.
Yeah, I like Toto with Stags because of Toto's experience in Origin.
Okay.
I don't like putting Stags and Kohler together because they're both essentially debutants. Like, I know Stags has played, but two debutants together. That's if I'm Billy Slater, that's where I'm going.
Yeah,
Straight away.
Okay.
You put pressure on them. They make an early error. All of a sudden, that edge is going to be fucked the whole game. So I wouldn't be putting two essential debutants together. I'd be splitting up Toto and Critter's experience. Quickly, just on Critter, are we surprised? Surprise is a strong word considering what he's done in rep footy, but his form has been nowhere near the Critter that we know. Are we surprised?
I'm a little bit surprised. His form isn't great. I think he's playing injured as well. I think that's pretty evident. If Latrell was available, Critter wouldn't have been in my side.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to what you said before. Under normal circumstances, in normal Critter form, it makes perfect sense to play him at left centre, put Cooler on his comfortable side outside him. You know that Critter's going to lock down that edge, and then you can have Tyler on the right. Probably not something that you can say at the moment with how he's playing. Like, yeah, he's definitely busted with that shoulder. I have enough trust in him. I think he's got enough runs on the board, though, that he gets game one, at least. Even if he's playing busted, like his big game runs are on the board, you know?
If Bradman Best was available, do you think they still would have gone Critter?
Yeah.
Sure, but he's picked the team.
Yeah.
He's not going to say he's not there.
Yeah.
I think he would have picked him 100%.
I think he would have. I think that I can, whether you agree or disagree with it, I do think it is reasonable to believe Critter can step up in the big game considering everything he's done in big games.
Yep, very fair.
I also think that if he comes in and struggles, that he will probably get dropped after game one. I don't think he's got enough Origin credits in the bank to go poor form, get selected out of form, play poorly in game one, get another chance. A little bit like DCE, who had way more credit in the bank last year, where went in out of form. Not out of form, but the last few weeks were out of form, struggled, got dropped, did and came in.
Yeah. All right. Is there a world where Kohler plays left centre, where he plays at Clubland?
I think so. I absolutely think. I personally would have had Kohler in the centres and put Critter on the wing. Less decision making for Critter. Simplify his game plan. You can crossfield kick to him. He essentially won a grand final from the wing, and you just say, mate, all I need from you is just as much as you can make your tackle, follow your centre, a bunch of runs out of your own end, and we'll cross kick to you. And then Kohler is more comfortable as well, which is good.
In the modern game nowadays, like with the amount of open training sessions you have, the amount of tape that people have, the amount of media that's at all these things, like surely it just doesn't make sense to do that anymore, though. To be naming Kohler on the wing if he's going to play his usual position. Like, part of me as a Blues fan would be like, fuck it, who are we trying to fucking fool here if that's what we're doing? Though?
Yeah, maybe.
Is that someone with what you said before who has been out of club footy a long time, thinking like, because that to me would make a lot of sense. Like, yeah, they're obviously going to know about it, but if Cooler plays left centre and Critter's on the wing, he's got a busted shoulder, he's probably a bit more covered there. And like, I think how smart he is defensively, you can probably hide it a bit more on the wing as opposed to when he's at centre, or you definitely can. So,
well, you're pretty much never getting jammed in on your inside shoulder as a winger. Like rarely. Like obviously when you're jamming in on people, but very rarely are you flat-footed in the seat, and someone's hitting a massive undersline on the wing. Very rarely. It happens sometimes, but rarely.
But Critter's not a big jammer normally anyway, right? Like he's pretty good at like using the sideline even at centre. So I think I wouldn't mind if they do that. I think that could actually be quite smart. But you're not tricking anyone. Like they're gonna know.
fooling anyone.
They're gonna watch one session at Coogee Oval and go, oh, fuck, that's what they're doing.
They run out and like he lines up at centre, and Queensland just like fall over, like fuck, fuck. What the fuck, on?
I hope that's not what he thinks.
Laurie Daly.
Losball again. He's nailed it.
Losballs. It's so funny.
Until Casey Maguire gets on the
James Tedesco. Yeah, I feel for Edwards. I really do, because he's been playing really good. I just think the only thing is this, and we were essentially the first show that actually kind of spoke about this. He just needs to make sure that he is there to supplement Cleary. At the Roosters, he's the big dog, and absolutely he should be the big dog at the Roosters. But when he gets into that blue squad, he needs to find a way to just go, nah, I am here to whatever Cleary needs, that's where I'm going. That's the main focus. And I think he can, but he needs to do it.
Yeah, 100%. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm stoked they've picked him because I think he deserves it. I think Edwards deserved to be dropped more last year than this year, though. Like, I find it interesting if you were going to go with incumbency last year and you were going to back the guy in. And I know, obviously, Teddy played game one because he was injured, but then they went back to Edwards. Like, Edwards has also been stacking up. Like, how many weeks have we watched for the last month where one of them's played first, carved, and the other one's responded with an even bigger game? I'm glad they've gone with Teddy, and as I said, I think a massive thing will be the combo with Robson. But yeah, you'd be pretty spewing if you're Edwards. Like, I think he's probably one of the better form fullbacks to miss out on Origin selection outside of the guy we'll get to from up north. But yeah.
I also think the game with the rules and stuff this year, I think it's just moved closer towards Tedesco than it has to Dylan Edwards personally.
True. You know, like the amount of opportunities you're getting around the ruck now with how quick it is crazy. And Edwards is good around the ruck, but Teddy is arguably one of the best ever outside around the ruck.
He's elite around the ruck.
Yeah. Do you think, like, I assume Moses will be on the right as well?
You'd think so.
Like, at Clubland the last few years we've seen Edwards sort of gets told just to park himself mainly on that right edge in good ball. Probably leans more in Teddy's favour, to your point, Roo.
Well, this is my other thing about playing Critter and Toto on the left is that maybe it would be a Nath Cleary edge there as well, and you've got a whole edge that has played together.
Yeah.
But the defensive point is very fair.
And then from yourself, mate?
No, I think Teddy, his form's just been too good. He's banged the door. They've both been great, as you guys both mentioned. But Dally M last year, he's playing his best footy probably that he's played in his career. And he's had a hell of a career. So I think he deserves to get another crack. And, good on him. Looking forward to seeing how he goes in the first game.
All righty, now on to the Queensland side. Any quick notes from you, Matty, that you can just yell it out? Yeah, is everything? Okay, now to the Queensland team. And look, it's going to have to be our service of the week, because Sam Walker is going to have to provide some of the best service of all time in his debut. The end of the financial year is coming in hot. If you've got an ABN, need a car for business, don't overpay. Luke the Car Man's hooking up exclusive bloke pricing before June 30. Shoot him a DM and he'll sort you. Luke the Car Man is also a finance man. Jet skis, motorbikes, caravans, you name it, he can finance it. Any deal, any budget, all credit welcome, Australia-wide. DM Lukey. And of course, guys, X Rentals, new cars, whatever you're chasing, it's all one spot with the Car Man, Lukey at Aspley Mazda. And right now, you buy any car, you mention Bloke, and you not only get the best deal, but you could score a Brisbane Broncos corporate box. You could be gifted a Brisbane Broncos corporate box experience with NRL legends at Suncorp Stadium. Jarrell Yaya, Alex Glenn, I'll also be there. Plus, Alex Glenn will take you into the changing room after the game to meet the boys. Alrighty, Kalen Ponga at fullback. Selwyn Combo at 2. Toya at 3. Hammer at 4. Jojo Fafita at 5. Cam Munster at 6. Sam Walker at 7. 8. Thomas Flegler. 9. Harry Grant. 10. Tino. 11. Ruben Cotter. 12. Kurt Catewell. 13. Max Psychoplath. 14. Britton Nikora. 15. Lindsay Collins. 16. Paddy Carrigan. 17. Trent Leoro. 18. Ezra Mam. And 19. Shiba Saki. 20, is Finny Fubiaki as well. Look, I'll be honest. Yesterday, if you were at the ground and the people in the know, the word I was getting was KP was 7. KP was locked in at 7. Howarth was in the centres. Now, it may or may not have changed, but then I heard that maybe Howarth had been pulled out potentially, and that is what brought Sam Walker in. Now, I don't know that for a fact. That's just what the rumours were going around yesterday from a lot of people in the know that KP was going to be named at 7. Obviously, that's changed. Sam Walker at 7. I get it. Look, I would have gone potentially Fogarty or, Clifford. However, I'm not mad at all at Sam Walker. It'll just be about making sure he clicks with that spine, and also make sure his defence is on point. But I'll go to you first, roommate. What's the reaction to the Queensland side?
Yeah, shocked that Reece Walsh isn't there, and over the moon that he's not there as well. I think there is a fair argument. Not a fair argument. I think it's undeniable. Callum Ponga's playing better footy than Reece Walsh this year, but I just think what Reece has done over the last 18 months or so, I would have had him in there. I would have played KP at halfback. I think they would have made it work. But if you weren't going to play KP at halfback, boys, I think it had to be Jake Clifford. I'd be more scared if they named Jake Clifford there. Sam Walker at halfback. Been watching the Roosters trying to make it work for 3 or 4 years now. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. I don't think Sam Walker is an easy guy to play with because he is such an unorthodox footballer. I just think Jake Clifford ticks all the boxes. I thought that he was the better halfback the other night when these two played each other. He kicked the Roosters to death in that game. I love the way that he takes on the line. I think he's got Origin written all over him at the moment, Jake Clifford. So he would have been my halfback. Billy's done this to me a few times. He's proved me wrong, made me look like an idiot. But I feel okay about Sam Walker being your halfback.
Okay, what do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, it's funny with Jake Clifford, like obviously leading into Origin, a lot of chat about the teams, and you can always tell someone hasn't been watching the footy closely. A couple of times I've brought up Jake Clifford, and I go, Jake Clifford, and it's like, okay, you haven't been watching the Cowboys play. He's been fucking killing it. I would have been more nervous as a Blues fan if he'd played. I'm stoked for Sam Walker as a bloke, obviously, and as a Roosters player to be playing. As a Blues fan, though, I'm pretty happy about it. One of the main knocks on KP playing in the halves for them, a lot of people would talk about his defence, which I think is absurd if you're going to go with Sam Walker instead of him. I think that is crazy, and I'd love to know, like obviously Billy is one of, if not the smartest mind in the game at the moment. I'd love to know why, like a centre pulling out, that's the change. I'd love to just hear the thinking behind it.
If that is what happened.
If that's what happened, yeah. But mate, it's going to be interesting because they've picked some big bodies here for their middle rotation, like some more sort of, Guru was talking before about the game moving towards speed so much. A few guys here who probably don't fit that mould through their middles, but...
Well, Lindsay, Collins, Carrigan, Lioro, like Carrigan's not a huge bopper, but they're all relatively big boppers.
That's right. Yeah. And like, I think that's why, and like also good on Tom Flegler, obviously. Like that's unreal to see him back.
Jesus.
Can we, just on the halves too, before we move off him, Jake Clifford, like how on earth he has missed this squad has blown me away. How Ezra Mam is in there over Jake Clifford, who I would argue is a form 5/8 of the competition this year. He moves to halfback for 1 week. He goes up against the Queensland halfback and gets the better of him. I think that is crazy not to have him there. If something happens that, Sam Walker gets injured in this game, for example, are we putting Ezra Mam on to play halfback? Are we moving KP? That like you're going to make 3 changes to cover it. Instead, you could have had Jake Clifford there, who could have come on at 7-6, whatever, and made it work in better form than Ezra, better defence than Ezra.
Long kicking game right now, you don't have a
Can't make sense of it. I think it's crazy.
And right now, Queensland don't really have that good of a long kicking game.
Nope.
KP has a decent boot on him, but obviously he doesn't take a lot of the kicks. So that's another part where Clifford, Ezra Mam's long kicking game isn't great. Me personally, I'll go to you first, Tammy, mate, and then I'll ask you my thoughts.
I think we're aligned. I would have had Fogarty in there. He's had a couple of great years with the Raiders. Obviously, he's doing some good stuff at Manly at the moment as well. And just to your point, long kicking game, keeps it simple. Sam Walker's a great player, but a little bit similar to what you sort of were saying about Teddy. Like, he is quite unique and like needs he plays his way. Where I think there's enough strike in this team that you just need someone who keeps it simple. I think at number 7, right foot kicker as well. So you got a right footer and a couple of left footers in there. I know Sam Walker is, but he's got a great boot on him, Fogarty. And just get those strike weapons the ball. Don't overthink it too much. So I think he's put together a couple of very good years. Clifford, I like. He's probably had a really good 12 months, but Fogarty, I reckon, has been doing it for a couple of years. Great defender as well. Manly are humming. I would have had him as my 7, but good luck to Sam Walker.
Okay, so my thoughts. I'm not mad. None of us are mad that Sam Walker's there, but the more you think about it, the more I don't understand it. Like, so right now we are essentially never going to be able to get kicked out of trouble. Like, if we're under the pump, we're going to be under the pump. We're going to have to run our way out of trouble. So that's a concern. And then if Sam Walker does go down, Ezra. Look, everyone knows how much I love Ezra, especially the Supercoach crowd. How Ezra and Shibasaki are here is respectfully, like even Ezra has come out and said he shouldn't be picked. This was a few weeks ago where he needs to work on his defense. So Ezra would be the first to tell you that his form hasn't been great. Ezra has had 1 or 2 good games this year, but outside of that, I think he's been quite poor, especially in defense. Shibasaki, his story is one of the great stories in rugby league. But right now, if the Broncos are full strength, he probably wouldn't be in the starting side. How he has been selected at 19, I'll never, ever, ever know. When guys like Philip Sammy, Reece Walsh isn't select, like it's just, it blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. Look, the thing is this, Billy Slater has proven us pretty much all wrong. So he's seeing something that I'm not seeing, but if I've been watching the Broncos and that defense on that left edge has been, wow. I also think Finney Fuaki, like, depending on how this is named, and like maybe he's named at 20, but he'll get on the field. I think he's been so hard done by if he doesn't get in that starting 17. I would have had him starting. I think he has been arguably the best back row in the whole competition. At the very least, he's been in the same tier as Hudson Young and Olakau'atu. It's like I would probably have Olakau'atu and Hudson Young just a little bit above him this year, but it would be not by much. And I think if you actually watch the Dolphins play, you'd realise how good Finney Fuaki has been playing.
I would have had him on one edge. The other one, boys, if Tom Dearden was playing, I think Helam Lukey's been a bit stiff too. I would have had him matching up with Tom Dearden on that right edge if they were there. With Tom Dearden out, I can understand it, but I think Finney Fuaki's been very, very unlucky. The other one for me, boys, Trent Leroux. I don't know. Am I watching something different down there in Melbourne?
Mate, there was articles coming out a few weeks ago that if they don't pick up their act, they might be gone from the Storm. Trent Leroux and a couple of the other boys.
Yeah.
But is it like, if we take this side on face value, does that mean Nakura's getting picked ahead of Finney Fuaki? Like, is that how they're doing it? Because looking at that bench, like you brought up Trent Leroux. Do you need Trent Leroux on that bench with some of those other guys that you've got there? Like, you got Maxi Plath there. Like, he'll play big minutes, provided, like, if Grant goes 80, or maybe they're going to move him in a 9. Either way, he's going to play big minutes. You got Cotter there, who's going to go big minutes. Like, how are you going to use Trent Leroux?
Well, the other one that I can't believe that no one's really seems to be talking about is Tom Gilbert. How on earth has Leroux jumped on in front of him?
Yeah. I don't. Look,
To be honest, I don't even know how Flegg was in the side before Tom Gilbert, for me personally. I don't know where you guys sit on that, but...
Look, I think the one thing that holding Gilbert back for me is just some errors sometimes. Like, he just comes up with a silly play here or there. But if you're willing to go, you know what, it's worth it because he's so aggressive. He's made for Origin, Gilbert. Like, we'll never forget what did he do? Dislocate his shoulder in that game a few years ago that he played, and he kept playing for like 20 minutes or something like that. So he's made for Origin. So I'm with you. I'm definitely surprised Gilbert missed. I'm surprised Finney Fuaki isn't starting. I'm stoked for Jojo Fafita. I'm stoked for him. He's been battling away. We spoke about it all last year, how this guy isn't in first grade. If he was just backed in, given time to work on his position, time to kind of own it, I'm stoked for Jojo Fafita. He's
been underutilised at the Titans for a long time, and I still think in their game plan to some extent he's underutilised at the moment for them. You can just tell by looking at Jojo, there's a fucking good footballer there.
Yep.
His balance and just the way that he runs, there's something there very good in the air that I don't think they utilise as well. So unreal to see him there, mate. I think he's going to go well. And, you know, you had Phil Sami there at the Titans. It would have been another great pick, but I think Jojo deserves this.
Yeah, he's quick as anything too. Actually, one of the Lachlan Kennedy, the fastest guy in Australia right now, used to race against Jojo Fafita at States in that. So he is fast.
You beat him up on a beach once, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I met him in I think November last year up at the Goldie. He's fucking massive. So if he's that quick, like he's like track quick, fuck, that's scary. Like I think I've been watching the Titans games for the last month, just going, he does not get enough ball. Like, to your point, I'm stoked. I reckon he's going to absolutely kill it.
I think I'm stoked for Britt Nicola to be there, but I think he's quite lucky to be there. I think his form this year hasn't set the world alight. I mean, but I get it. It's not a crazy out of left field. It's not as it's probably not as crazy as like the Trent Leroux one, which I'm quite surprised at considering the form at club. Look, I will say Billy Slater, you know, he brought Trent Leroux in last year, and he was really good in Game 3. You know, you got to give Trent credit. He was great in Game 3 last year, and I actually think the last couple of years he's been a little bit underrated at the Storm for what he does. It's just been this year where his form's been quite a bit down. Outside of that, let's talk about Maxi Plath. Talk about an Origin selection. This guy is built for Origin. I'm trying to think of another guy that's played as little amount of games as him, but everyone just goes, oh, he's going to play Origin. Like, you just watch him play. And what's crazy as well is, like, it's not like he's setting up a million tries or doing all the highlight stuff. If you just watch him play, you go, oh, that guy's definitely an Origin player. I am so stoked for Maxi Plath. He's actually our Bushranger Battler of the Week. The Bushranger Battler of the Week is brought to you by Bushranger Power Equipment. Tough, reliable gear built for hard-working Aussies. Whether you're on the tools, on the land, or sorting the backyard on the weekend, Bushranger is built to get the job done. The battler this week is doing the hard yards, not asking for any rewards, just getting it done. It is Maxi Plath. Maxi Plath. He's almost like he was born for Origin.
Yeah, certainly. He's a guy. I wasn't able to be on the Origin show last week. My little hot take was going to be I would start Harry Grant off the bench and play Max Plath at hooker for the first 20 minutes just to go nuts. I love that Billy's just gone, nah, fuck it, I'm going all in. He's my lock forward to start the game. Built for Origin, as you said, mate. I think about Max Plath, tough as nails. If you go back to 4 or 5 years ago, like, I think he won the Mal Meninga Cup up there, the under 20s or whatever it is, like playing halfback. Now he's Queensland's starting lock forward. Injured last year, but I think we said at the start of the year, like, he came back via Queensland Cup. We said on the show he'll go from Q Cup to Origin, and he's here game one. Unreal to see. I fucking hate that he's from Queensland, to be honest with you.
Well, it's no surprise that since he's come back, the Dolphins have just gotten better and better and better. And then you bring JMK in, which opens up Max Plath to go back to 13 where he belongs. And every time he gets into 13, the Dolphins just go, try. Thanks for coming. Thoughts on Maxi Plath, the Bushranger Battler of the Week?
I reckon it's a massive wrap to him. Like you just sort of spoke about it then. Before JMK was back, played a lot of 9, and I thought that might influence how he gets used in this side. Like, you got Carrigan on the bench there who starts at 13 for his side week in, week out. They won the comp last year. It's a huge wrap that Billy's just gone, you know what, even though he's mainly been playing 9 for most of this year, back him in to start at lock speaks a lot to how they see him. And yeah, he's one of those guys where you look at it as an initial Welshman and you're just like, fuck, like, you just do anything to have him.
What do you reckon, Maxi Plath at 13, or do you like Roos at 9? What do you think?
No, the Psycho Plath, I like him in the side. Yeah, it's interesting having him at 13. I was a little bit surprised seeing Carrigan come off the bench, but that's what they did with him last year in Origin, and it kind of worked. You know, Billy obviously knows far more than we do about how to use these guys, and I think that worked last year. Carrigan played a really good role. He had a very clear role, and he definitely had a bit of dog off that bench. But Plath, he's just one of those guys. You just want him out on the field, involved. Ever since he's kind of come into first grade, he's just such a full of energy, tough as they come, and built for it. If he wasn't injured last year, he could have even been a little smoky to have a little run through the express lane into Origin last year. But I reckon he'll excel. He'll be really good.
Alrighty, that is the Bushranger Battler of the Week, brought to you by Bushranger Power Equipment. Tough, reliable gear built for hardworking Aussies who get stuck in and get the job done. And we'll be back next week with another player doing the hard yards for the team. Now, just before we move on, because Sam Walker is probably the biggest talking point, is there a world where it works, though? Like, I would say this. Like, let's say they can get the combos right and he defends relatively well. Is his reactive style perfect for Origin? Because there is a world where, because like what have we've seen system players go into Origin and really struggle recently for the Blues, and they've had to kind of open themselves up a little bit to kind of work into Origin. Is there a world where Sam Walker, because he is not structured and he reacts constantly to what's happening at the play of the ball, it could be a masterstroke?
For sure. Yeah, there definitely is. We know how talented Sammy Walker is. We know that Billy Slater has a history of getting the best out of guys. The way I would describe it is that Sam Walker has a much higher ceiling in this team than that of Jake Clifford. He's got a much lower floor, though. Whereas I think Jake Clifford would have just been right in the sweet spot. You've got your superstars, KP, Munster, Harry Grant. I just don't know if you needed an erratic ball player like Sam Walker in there with those guys. That's why I would have gone for Jake Clifford. But if Billy can make this all gel and work and he gets the best out of these 4 guys, we're in serious curry. I'm well and truly aware of that. I just question whether in 10 days this team is going to get used to playing Sam Walker footy.
Yeah, I reckon it's more about the defence, like 100% in terms of the way he attacks. But even there's parts of the attack, like in that game the other night, 3 or 4 times we turned the ball over before tackle 3 in good ball, right? And two of them were Teddy, but like Sammy put a kick in and Egan dropped it over the line, right? Like probably should have scored it. It was still tackle 2. So I get that that's exciting or whatever, but the reality is like he's going to be marking up against either Hudson or Hamole. I don't understand how you could have watched that game the other night. He goes up against Clifford. Some of the errors the Roosters were making in good ball, the way Clifford played, and then out of the two of them to go, we'll go with him. Like it's a massive gamble, but like again, Billy's come up with massive gambles before. Everyone laughed at him when he picked Rob Toyer from the Clouds, and that aged well. So
Where will he defend?
Where will he defend?
Yeah, Walker and Munster, they obviously both defend on the left edge in clubland, don't they? Yeah. Walker's left edge. So who are you moving to the right?
I don't want him on Olakau'atu. I know Hudson Young's not that much.
Is there any chance they Jamie Soward it? Remember when Soward used to defend on the wing a little bit?
I would almost assume they're going to have to do something like that, I think.
The only other thing I could think of is they're going to create a system that someone is landing on Olakau'atu as soon as he touches the ball every single time. Every time he's about to catch the ball, you are screaming in and hitting him just to take the momentum away from him. But maybe they push him out to wing, and that's maybe why Jojo Fafita's there, because he actually plays centre at club, doesn't he?
I reckon that's what they're going to do. I reckon 100% that's what they're going to do. That's I think you would have to. Like, you couldn't watch him at clubland. Like, and Sam Walker, like, most of the time he throws himself at him.
He's brave as anything. Fuck.
Yeah, you've also got like, to be fair, two guys there at back row that are pretty rock solid next to him. But again, like, it's Origin. You got those two guys coming at him. I reckon he's going to be on the wing.
Does he have much of a history of doing that, Slater? With his, like hiding guys in defence realistically?
I feel like Slater's mentality is like, no, I'm backing them all the way in.
If you're in the jersey, you show up.
Yeah, I'm backing you all the way in.
That's where, once again, I think you pick Jay Clifford, you don't have to change your defensive structure to hide someone.
Yeah. Look, I'm a bit more optimistic with Sammy Walker there. Like, I think that with how fast the game is, with systems you can put in place to really like just suffocate the ball out to edges, it requires a very fit footy side, and look who his edges are. Cotter and Catewell, two of the fittest edges in the competition. That's where I can see Billy Slater going, listen, Cotter and Catewell, I don't give a fuck what you do on attack. You have one job, and his Olakau'atu doesn't run a metre, and Hudson Young doesn't run a metre before you hit him. And that's how I could see it. And then, stopping that momentum, and then in attack, it's just fucking free fall through the middle, just flooding it constantly.
And that's what I do like about this Queensland side, that it has got the balance of the spine is attack plus. It's terrifying. But then your edges between Toya, Hamiso, Cotter, Capel, they're all defensive picks there.
Well, even Max Plath, Catewell, and Cotter, like defensively, that's unbelievable when you look at that, that trio. Like Max Plath, Cotter, and Catewell's footwork would probably be the best in position, really. So, like, they're going to be mobile. And so I do like that Billy Slater, if you're looking at from how fast the game is, the mobility of the 11, 12, and 13 of Queensland is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I also think with the way that these benches have been picked, like, boys, it might be a case of get 15 minutes into this game, see how it's being officiated. See what sport we're playing out there, and then you almost make your decisions off the back of it. Because I think that is probably the biggest wild card going into this game. I'm sure both coaches would have gone to the NRL and the referees and said, how's this game going to be played? But I wouldn't trust whatever they're going to say realistically. You just have to wait until you get out there.
Yep.
But like, if you know how it's going to be officiated, if it's going to be as fast as the NRL is right now, which I assume it won't be, but that flips everything on its head.
Yeah, changes everything. Like you'd probably, Finny Fuaki would be coming on over one of the big bopper front rowers. Trent Leoro probably wouldn't come on, I think, because he's a bit bigger and, he's more about line speed, wrestle, good defence. Now, just quickly, Selwyn Cobbo, thoughts, boys? I was, not in regards to how good Selwyn Cobbo can play, absolute superstar on his day. And he's actually been pretty good the last couple of weeks for the Dolphins, give or take an error here or there. Still a little bit surprised considering, just word out of the camps over the last couple of years. A little bit surprised Selwyn's there.
Take out all context just on form, I'm all for it. But when you include all that stuff that you've heard over the years and how he's been in and out of the side, all this sort of stuff, I am surprised. But there's a few guys in this side between him, Trent Leary, like there's blokes that I'm just like, that I just sort of went, Billy won't pick them. They're not doing enough at the moment. They're, you've heard all these attitude and all this sort of stuff over the years, but mate, trying to get in this guy's head is just fucking mission impossible.
Yeah, I'd love to just sit down and go, tell me why, this, and this. And because he'd have an explanation where you go, oh, that makes fucking
without a doubt
sense.
he would,
But
yes.
we're just not smart enough to know what that is. Alrighty, that's the Queensland side. Anything else, boys, on the Queensland side?
No.
Anything else?
No. I just reckon with Cobbo, like, if you are going to pick him, like, he's probably never looked fitter. So I'm sure Billy's done his homework and been like spoken to him, and that doesn't guarantee anything, but like
he definitely looks fit.
Yeah,
like looks much fitter than he has in the past for sure. All right, that's the Origin chat done and dusted, guys. Look, we're going to do the Round 11 review. It's going to be much shorter because obviously we've all been up at Magic Round and we've just sat there and spoken about Origin for as long as we did. So it's going to be shorter. Apologies if your team doesn't get the usual amount it gets each week. There's only so much we can do. So apologize for that, but we'll get into it now. Alrighty, the Round 11 review, guys. Do not forget these jackets. They're dropping 6 p.m. next Monday. Very limited numbers, guys. We've got the maroon. We've got the blue. You don't want to miss these ones. I don't think we'll do this. We've never done a jacket again. So once we do that design, it's done. And also just quick shout out, the Perth Bears. Memberships come for the Perth Bears the next few days. Head to shopperthbears.com.au to check that all out. Okay, Sharkies, 38. Defeating the Doggies 16. I'll go to you first, Tommy Bomb, mate. 38, Sharkies 38, Bulldogs 16. For me personally, this is the Mulatalo show.
Yeah, mate, he's on fire, isn't he? He's absolutely killing it. I thought like their halves are just really, really doing a good job at the moment, especially with their kicking as well. I thought AFB had a game, as we sort of spoke about earlier, that sort of really cemented him or sort of put him forward for Origin contention. But yeah, it was hard to... As good as the Sharks were, like, and it was a massive like response, obviously.
How bad are the Dogs?
Yeah, that was unfortunately sort of like all I could really think about, because a few of the tries that the Dogs were letting in, like, probably meant the game was gone more so than it should have been. You know what I mean? So even though the Sharks scored some mad tries, and even like seeing an 8-point try is always good for the rugby league soul. You know what I mean? Takes me back to my childhood. Used to see, like, you remember that like 2-year period or whatever where there was like a fair few of them, and they sort of became a bit of a trend. So that was cool, but yeah, I'm a bit worried for the Dogs.
Amiso?
Yeah, Ronaldo Mulatalo, fantastic.
Yep.
As you mentioned, Colhoun at lock. Don't mind a bit of that.
Wow,
good,
where did that come from?
Yeah, my
Fucking
super
hell.
coach team thanks you, Craig Fitzgibbon, for whacking him there. But yeah, I like that. Didn't mind it. He had a bit of a game on the weekend, so they got some good signs. They're a very tough team to get a read on, though. The Sharks, geez, they're up and they're down. Their best and their worst this year has been so far apart, but when they produce their best, they can just blow teams away. That's what they did to the Dogs the other night. Yes, the Dogs were bad. They've got some big issues, but it's sexy footy. And I'll tell you what, they were the best dressed team at Magic Round as well. the Sharks.
Yeah, it was a mad jersey.
That early
Oh my
2000s
God.
one. Well done, Cronulla. You were
Yep.
the best dressed team at Magic Round.
Actually, saying that, a few blokes come up and said this to me. Every team should be forced to wear their retro jersey at Magic Round.
Yeah, what do we need to draw people a diagram? What do you think? They've all been easily the best jerseys all year. Why are we kind of scattering them through the year? Whip them on at Magic Round.
Magic Round. Imagine the hype created. Then we could do contests of like the punter's favourite jersey,
Yep.
who wins that. You could do so many things around it. It is such a brilliant idea. And also, for some reason, retro jerseys have become like a thing at Magic Round. Like, who can wear the coolest, like, nichest jersey or whatever. Every team wearing a retro jersey, it would add to the round. You could add retro stuff to it. I think it's an absolute no-brainer. Retro jerseys at Magic Round. Imagine like the Doggies rolling out in their retro jerseys versus the Sharkies or something like that. Or the Wars versus the Broncos or whatever. It'd be crazy.
But you can also go like far enough back. Like I think Titans one perfect example where it's like you're going to engage a whole new younger audience with something that they probably didn't understand that there was history there, and it fucking just looks sick as well. Like,
and it adds to the yarn too. You could also, because it's retro round, you could look at the history between the two teams.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's like with Magic Round, don't get me wrong, it'll never lose steam because it's fucking unbelievable. But if there's something that could like re-energize it even more and like push it along and give it like extra yarn about it. Because like right now, the tough thing for Magic Round was the footy was really poor.
Yeah.
The reffing was really poor across the board, but the footy also suffered from that perspective. Now, maybe it's half the players' fault, whatever. Whereas with Retro Round, it's something else that people can focus on if their team doesn't really win. It's something else that they can enjoy and get around if their team doesn't win. Whereas, like, if you have a weekend like the recent weekend, it was still a great weekend, but, like, the footy just wasn't that enjoyable. We had, honestly, I'm being fair dinkum here. Obviously, the men's game was of a higher standard, but the excitement factor, the women's Origin was the best of the weekend. I swear to God.
Sure. Yeah, 100%. I also think, like, it was interesting. A lot of the fans I spoke to, like, there were actually a fair few fans who didn't go to any games as well. Like, obviously, like, the majority of people were going to games at least once, but a lot of the events around it, like the different shows that were on, or, you can do so much more around jerseys and things like that as well. They were having competitions at different places.
You could do, like, fashion walks and stuff. It'd be hilarious.
That whole thing, like, that's where it's at. You know what I mean? So I think leaning into that more is probably a good thing. So that when you do have, because we've had Magic rounds where there's been a couple of like really good games. This wasn't one of them, unfortunately.
I think last year was really good. I think last year had like
the Raiders Storm one was awesome.
was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that like imagine having like you've obviously got you can vote which team has the best jersey, but you could also there's like a fashion show at the front of the stadium where blokes can enter and you win like whoever wins the fashion walk in their jersey wins $1,000 or something.
Yeah, 100%.
Like it'd go off. Imagine the banter around that.
Love it.
So there you go. Reach out, NRL. Reach out. Matty, what are your thoughts? Retro round jerseys? Oh, you haven't got the mic? Okay. Just yell out. Would you like every team? Yeah. I will say, and this is going to be like a killer of tradition. So just settle down, Roosters and Rabbitohs. I know you just want the fucking V and the stripes. I get it, but it restricts you so much. I'm not saying change the home jersey. I'm just saying you restrict it.
I'd be more than open to mucking around with it, you know what I mean, and changing it. Like we've had other jerseys in the past that, like even that light blue one, you know that Mad Anzac one?
Yeah, that was sick.
Like you could do so many variations of that. Yeah, are they that staunch? Are they on just only?
I think Rabbitohs and Roosters, especially the fans, are very staunch on like, this is the design each year. Which I don't. I get it. I do like tradition, but at least the away jerseys, I reckon you could mix it up a bit.
Especially for Magic round, it feels like you just like it's party time.
Even if it's a
mean?
Magic jersey, like I know you can't. I know you don't want to add more jerseys because it sucks for fans that want to get the jerseys. There's too many of them. But anyway, that's my thoughts. Retro round, retro jerseys, and that's the Sharkies jersey made me think of that. You want to hear something crazy, boys?
Yeah.
The Dogs lost 38-16. They had the ball for more minutes than the Sharkies.
Wow.
I saw that. Yeah.
Bro, that is like, I don't know what to say about the Dogs. We'll get to the Dogs. We'll stay on the Sharkies. Look, I think it was a Mulatalo show. I think that I've probably been guilty of the Sharks. Now, granted, it's only one game and they have been hot and cold this year. But I'm one of the big believers in Mulatalo. But maybe I forgot just how much he is the heart of this side. Like, I think because most teams' wingers aren't the heart and soul of the side, you just don't associate wingers with that role. Usually it's a halfback or it's a forward in the middle or maybe a fullback. Whereas I just think that Mulatalo just reminded me like, actually, like he is the guy. Like he's the locker room guy. He's the energy guy. He's the guy that gets some good starts to their set, so their energy makes a big play. He's the guy that's running in, yipping and yahooing, yelling at the opposition, yelling at his opponents, his teammates. And I just think on the weekend we really saw that they are just a different side with Mulatalo in it. They're just a totally different side with Mulatalo in it.
Yeah, 100%. They definitely like leverage a lot off his energy, and you can see that, especially in big moments. Like at one stage there when he made a pretty dominant cover tackle on what's his name, the winger?
Sewer?
Yeah, Sewer. Sorry, yeah. Like belted him.
Yep.
And was loving it. And you know what I mean? Like, I think it's gonna be interesting over the next few weeks for them though with the Sharks. Like, obviously AFB, Brayley, Nakura, but their spine outside of Brayley, like, is still going to be quite intact. You still got guys like Kaeliro there, obviously Mulatalo. So I think
got to pick up wins. They could be one of those sides where not only can they pick up more wins when other teams are dropping them, but also like good chance for their halves. Obviously, the knock on their halves is standing up in big games. Probably a good time to get some reps under their belt without as much of a dominant pack, but they look really good against the Dogs. So. They're also a reminder of like how important combinations are. Like when that spine clicks into gear, it's so smooth. Like when you compare that to some of the other spines that haven't played much footy together, it's just night and day. Like it's just genuinely night and day. We spoke about it a little bit earlier, but Colquhoun is he? Do you keep him in that 13 jersey at least until he loses it? I feel like it's his jersey to lose now after that game.
Would.
Fuck.
Yeah, he squares them up so much. He gets through so much work, like 37 tackles, 163 meters, like. I think you keep him there. And I think it's good when you've got, like, you don't really need too much heavy ball playing when you got those guys in the halves that sort of like a bit more freedom. So I think he suits their side really well. I was also really impressed with Puru.
Yes.
That try he scored, and then also that effort play at the end. Like, the game was done. Like, if Galvin scores, it doesn't make that much of a difference. But to stop that, I thought was hectic too.
So Colquhoun at 13. Toby Rudolph, I thought he was pretty good. He's had some decent games this year. But outside of that, I'm just trying to look at some other boys here. I thought Kennedy was really good too. Geez, what do you do there? Like, they want to keep him. So Fitzy said they want to keep him. you look at the Dogs who thought the grass was greener by, recruiting someone that's a top tier in a position, and that's just everything's fallen apart. Could Sharks run into that as well, where they think the grass is greener without Kennedy because they can't offer him what he probably deserves right now, and then the guy comes like. The thing with Kennedy, he very rarely plays below a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, he was good. His numbers aren't like incredible here, but he kept popping up on the weekend. I thought he asked the Dogs some questions. He's a great player. You're right. He's very consistent. I think for the Sharks to get to the next level, they've kind of been at the same level for 3 or 4 years now. They need a bit of a X factor, probably in that position. Unfortunately for him, great player though. Could go to another club and he could stay there and continue doing a good job. But I feel like if the Sharks want to get from where they are to premiership contender, they probably need to get a bit of X factor in there.
It's a really interesting dynamic there because I think I agree with you. I reckon that the extra X factor that they need could be like just when Trindle and Hines hit their straps and they're in form. We just haven't seen it properly yet on the big stage. AFB's a massive into. Like he could be that point of difference. It's hard. If you're another club, like you think about the clubs that would pay Kennedy overs to go there. Like they're not going to be premiership contenders. You're probably looking more so than anyone at Perth Bears, right? Like he's probably going to want to stay at the Sharks. I don't think he's going to get a crazy offer anywhere else. And from their point of view, I think that you spoke about the grass being greener, Campy. I reckon you have to, unless you've got greener grass, I wouldn't be necessarily going to look for it because I think it just becomes a distraction. It's hard though. Then like, I remember when they got knocked out last year in that prelim, like. He was up in the line on the 30. So there's just little moments in big games where they just that's where you get exposed. But then it's hard because that's harsh on him because I think if you look at that game, those other two halves, they weren't where they need to be either. So I think they might actually have the ingredients there to win a comp.
Yeah, it's a good point. Like you think about like, have we ever really seen Brayley, Hines, or just take Brayley out of it, Hines and even Trindle both be killing it? It's usually one or the other. Now, maybe that's because of the system that they've set up. And that's why they don't kill at the same time. But maybe that is the next step for them. Both of them are absolutely killing it at the same time.
Yeah, well, so I remember like I was guilty of it where when he was in the line on the 30 and they score off that kick, I think it was Munster that put in the kick. Fuck, like how do you get that wrong in a prelim final? But then, like I said, it's easy to then focus in on that because that's the narrative. But I think if we were to see Hines and Trindle playing how they sort of are at the moment, especially with the thing that's sort of underrated with them is the kicking. Like their kicking at the end of sets is so good at the moment. Like we know that they can run the ball and we know how dangerous Trindle can be in terms of just freak sort of 1-out plays. But the kicking thing is what's going to be relevant against, say, like the Panthers at the back end, more so than like the mad footwork and the highlights. So I reckon they're probably looking the most legit I've seen them in terms of being contenders. Like
I think if it wasn't fullback that you would think they needed to potentially go for a top tier, I actually think it's another young gun front rower. I think that they've just been missing. Like for example, you look at the Broncos, like they've got Carrigan and they've got Haas and they've got Willison. And I just think that if they could have Adam Fanor-Blake and a Willison similar-ish young gun that's going to be great, I think that's probably also what because Adam Fanor-Blake can only do so much. So, but look. Good win for the Sharkies. Yes, okay, were the Dogs great? No, but at the same time, you can only play what's in front of you. They had a big turnaround. They looked, in regards to how much they looked like they cared this week compared to last week, it's night and day. So that's another good thing. It's just about, they're going to go to an Origin period right now without Blake, without Adam. They've just got to try to pick up as many wins as they can to get them towards the back end of the year. Okay, now to the Doggies. I mean, it's a disaster. It is a disaster. They are in a world of hurt. Who should play in the spine is now become the least of their worries. Their defense on the weekend was like, it looks like a team that's tired. It looks like a team that's not buying in. It looks like a team that is not confident. They look like a team that needs either some time off or a complete refresh of what they do during the week. Because if they haven't already changed things up, clearly, let's say they've been doing the same thing for 3 years right now, and let's say this is the third year. Clearly, that style of coaching and system has a shelf life in terms of intensity. And we do know that the Dogs have they have long days at training. They go in early, they leave late, which is fine. But it seems to me that almost that this squad is fatigued. They don't look anywhere near like their line speed. If you compare their line speed now to last year. It is not even like like each set is like a meter slower, which is crazy in the NRL. So I think they need to have a real good look at what they're doing at training. I think they need to look at the systems they're using, at how fatigued the players are. And it doesn't have to be physically fatigued. Are they mentally fatigued? Have they been so redlined for 2 years that they just like over it? Because they're not playing like a team that is even, and it's easy to say this because, you know, they're not winning games, but they're not going out there hunting people, trying to, like, they are working individually, not as combinations. You know, they make errors, heads are down, the boys aren't really getting in. Like, they are in a world of hurt.
Yeah, and it's actually worse than that because it's they're letting in tries that you just wouldn't expect. Like, even, you know, watching that game, first try that Kennedy scores, and it's like, it's just off one block shape against Critter, who, like, and we spoke about it before, he's definitely playing busted. But you had that one, you had Pooh score a try from dummy half straight through the middle.
Tracy, I think he needs a week off at the very least. Now, maybe that's in New South Wales Cup, but
yeah,
I think he needs a reset because clearly he started the year quite well, but his defence the last 2 weeks, like.
Yeah, well, like, again, he was one of the guys on when Hines scored as well. Like there's 3 tries, that's potentially 18 points where, like, you just, no team should be letting that in, let alone a team that's built their ID so much on defence. I also think with their attack, like, they look so much better when Jamin's at 13. Like, a couple of times, like, on line breaks that they made, and, like, say, Sherry's try, when Critter scored his try, like, he seems to square them up a lot more. Because we've spoken about it before. Like, Hayward, he's a solid player, but he doesn't give him heaps out of 9 in terms of creativity.
I think Hayward's a 13.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, he could obviously play a very similar role to Jamin, but I think whether it's Jamin, Kurt Mann when he's on, or if you were to move Hayward there, when they've got a middle who sort of takes the line on more, squares them up, and seems to just create more space for those guys. Like Sherry, when he got the ball, he made that try look so easy. He just needs more opportunities to do it. So,
what do you reckon, mate? The doggies?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that they were able to rely on last year or years gone by, their defence, that's gone away. 76% completion rate as well, just not getting through their sort of sets as well. But they just look clunky, even when, you know, they have got the ball or whatever. Like, yeah, there's so many issues now. There's not just one thing to fix, which is a problem. But I feel like we've said the same thing about it for a couple of weeks now. It just feels like it's set in and it's getting worse. So I don't really know how they turn that around.
And, like, the problem is like they went from this close to being potentially, you know, in the mix of a premiership to, like, can they go into another season with the same roster if they keep playing like this? No. And then all of a sudden, you're back in the start of a rebuild because they don't have the stars. They don't have a core of a team to build around.
Yeah.
Like,
Last year was just like poor decisions. I don't like, they're like, oh, we didn't have what we took to win a premiership. How do you know? You were sitting first on the ladder and you blew it all up. What? Surely you get to the end of that. Like, why were you changing so many drastic things then and there? Sometimes you just got to strike while the iron's hot. Who's to say if they'd have kept Sexton at 7 last year or whatever? They, you know, they're in the top 4. They win a couple of finals and away you go. All of a sudden you've got a chance. Penrith fell over last year, weren't able to get to the final hurdle. Maybe they could have won it last year playing the style of footy they were. They've gone, no, we've got to blow it all up or tinker with stuff. And it's just gone so bad.
And then, like, you go, even if you are going to replace Sexton, you went and bought a 6 to replace a 7.
Yeah.
You went and bought a running 6 to replace a conservative 7. And then balked at the last minute, but then put him back at 7. Mate,
and it's not all his fault either. There's other things as well. Like, you know, they're playing a guy that's at hooker who's not a hooker as well.
Yeah,
there's a lot
for
of
sure.
people out of position. And
I don't think any of it's Galvin's fault, to be honest. He's actually been one of their better fucking players.
he's been playing well.
give him a go at number 6. Help him out. Anyway.
I also think at the moment they've found themselves in a weird position where they've got a number of guys playing busted, and they probably think they can't afford to take, like, those guys out of this side because they're doing so poorly. But it's actually doing them no favours. Like, we spoke about Critter, but he's like Leo Thompson. I'm convinced he's busted. Like, he played 61 minutes.
He ran for 60 metres or something.
48 metres from 7 runs. Like, that is something where it's to the point. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to, like, shit on him. Like, we know how good he can be. He has to be injured still. Like, they're the sort of numbers where there's just no way he would.
Yeah.
Like, normally, like, him even at like 80%, if he had 4 runs, he'd make that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think they've got a couple of guys in there who, in an ideal world, would be having a week or 2 off, but they feel like they can't afford to give them that. And it's.
Man, I got to say, though, like, even let's take out the Sexton stuff. Moving Marnie on to put Hayward in at 9.
Yeah.
Like, and what's weird about that? Like, it was a totally unnecessary, like, Hayward was killing it off the bench at 13. He was a great utility. I've never seen anything like it. Since I've been watching rugby league, I've never seen a club who's up top of the table make such drastic decisions in key positions and then it all fall apart so quickly.
Yeah, funnily enough, it's like them and the Cowboys have swapped form throughout this season, eh? From the start to now, like it's aged awfully that they let Marnie go. Like, it makes zero sense. And we've spoken about this before, but I think there has to have been more to that. Like, it doesn't make sense if you're going purely on football. It makes zero sense. Zero
sense. Like, what's crazy is what's bizarre as well is like Sexton at 7, Galvin at 6, and Burton in the centres. That's okay. I'm happy with that. What? Anyway, I know we've spoken about this a million times. I personally think they need a full reset. I think that they need a refresher. I think this roster it's the cycle of whatever system was put in place to get the best out of this current playing group is no longer having the same effect as it had a year or so ago. I think as well, like Serraldo is probably a lot of the system that he's using. He's taking that from Penrith and he's applying it to Dogs. But unfortunately, this playing group is not the Penrith playing group. They're not as elite. And so it's almost a little bit like Michael Maguire at the Tigers. Like the roster he had probably just wasn't top tier enough to react at that stages of their career to what he needed. Then he goes to the Broncos with all of this talent to work with and top tier rep players, and the reaction becomes straight away, you know? So I wonder whether Serraldo needs to tweak it a little bit because he's not actually dealing with the best of the best in his roster at the moment compared to Penrith.
Yeah, I think they definitely need that week off. It's hard. They got Melbourne this week. How would you possibly pick what side you're going to come up against? And obviously with Origin and stuff, like both sides will be missing a couple of blokes. But it's weird. Like I don't think Critter's out of form because he's out of form. I think he's playing busted and it's affecting his ability to perform. So it's not like he's going to go into Origin camp and come back flying. You know what I mean? Like I think it's an injury thing by the looks of it. So. Yeah, I think their middles just need to be given them more than what they're giving them. Like you look through their back five, like Sewer, 166 metres, Tuala, 216 metres. Those
There's too much errors from Sewer though.
100%.
I was so high on Sewer, but far out.
But their back five, like they're getting through a lot of work out of yardage for them, and it's like to not be able to convert on that. Then when they get in a good ball, like I just don't think they're getting enough out of their middles at the moment. And you know, as we spoke about before, a couple of times, like. Sharks getting a good ball attacking against the Dogs. Normally, they wouldn't come away with points there, but they're scoring these tries where you're like, fucking hell. Like, you'd expect it from one of the teams coming sort of bottom three. Like,
alrighty, Dolphins defeat the Rabbitohs 32-10. And I guess it's a tale of two, very positive for the Dolphins and very negative for the Rabbitohs. The Dolphins look like they are flying. If they can continue on this upward trajectory, I can't see why they can't be a premiership threat this year. They've got strike everywhere. They're super physical. They're disciplined. They're usually disciplined. They got better at that. I feel like at the start of the year they were hyper aggressive and too ill disciplined. I feel like they've brought that in, and you still get the aggression without the silly kind of mistakes. They're young. They're fresh. They're relatively injury free at the moment. I know Daniel Saifidi obviously having to retire. Really, really good win for the Dolphins. If they can keep JMK on the field, Platt gets to 13. They can keep Katoa on the field. They are like where in their side is there really a weakness? So that's what's exciting about the Dolphins. On the Rabbitohs, this is what happens when you have these games where you play good for 40 or 60 minutes, you fall in love with your attack, and you're not willing to get into the grind and do the tough stuff. And I think that the Rabbitohs got exposed a little bit because when this tough stuff came, they weren't prepared properly for it. They thought they could attack their way out of every single problem. And they need to fix it. We all know they can attack. We all know how good they'll be in attack. They need to get much more disciplined and much more willing to get into the grind, in my opinion. I'll go to you first, Tammy.
Very strong. They're starting to find their form. And basically everyone in their back line scored a try. So, again, it just shows you how dangerous they are. They can get you from anywhere. Jack Bostock, I reckon, exciting. We were just talking in the green room earlier. If he had come back a couple of weeks earlier from injury, he might have been thereabouts for the Blues squad. But, yeah, there's a lot to like about this team. A lot of players starting to hit some form. And, for me, it's all kind of come off the back of, JMK coming back into the fold.
Bostock, future Origin player. I think one of the greatest disgraces of all time is that Herbie Farnworth didn't move to Sydney before he was 13. I think he's the best centre in the comp at the moment by a mile. I can't believe what he's doing. Like, 11 tackle breaks, 171 metres, scored that try.
Like, when was the last time he had a bad game? Like 4 years ago?
That's what I mean. Like, you know, he got injured last year, probably cost him a final spot. So him being fit this year, I reckon they're going to be right up there at the back end if they keep this going.
So, yeah, his stats on the weekend: a try assist, 171 metres, 62 post contact, 11 tackle breaks, a line break, 2 line break assists, 5 offloads, 17 tackles. Like, bro, I mean, he is truly putting distance between himself and the second best. Like, there was a period there where it was just him and Critter neck and neck. Now it is just purely, it's Herbie Farnworth by himself at the moment.
Yeah, and early on in this game, like, I think their edges did a really good job. Like, Bostock had a couple of big stops on Latrell early on, which I think sort of kept it tight, and then obviously they were able to run away with it as the game went on. Also thought it was hilarious. Did you see when Gilbert pumped Bailey Harpe?
Yes, yes, I did.
Do we think he actually knew the game? I thought
I
it was
think
one of
he
the
did. I think he saw an outside back and said, "I'm fucking taking
yeah.
it."
I think it was one of the great acting jobs of all time. It was fantastic.
Good job. You fucking put a hole through him. Mate, they just, and what's exciting about the Dolphins is I feel like they got more in him too. Like, I feel like they got more in him. Now, Cody Nikodima, he's hammy, I think. Was his hammy? Hopefully he's all good because he's really underrated, Nikodima, and I'm guilty of it myself. Hopefully he's okay. I mean, I'm trying to think. They've got Schneider, I think, in the squad.
Yes, they do.
But they definitely want to have him when it comes to finals footy, or at least to run into finals footy, because he's so important to their attack.
Yeah, when especially a couple of those tries that they scored early on where Katoa squares up, and yeah, Nikorima looked electric. He was amazing.
In regards to some of the other boys that played really well, Plath was outstanding. 72 minutes in the middle, essentially. A try, 180 metres, 40 post contact, 2 tackle breaks, a line break, 38 tackles. So outstanding as well. Hammer had a few errors, but he's still so dangerous. Like, he will make you pay. That try that he scored, where he cuts back. Was that? Yeah, that was Hammer. Or was it Kohler? It was Hammer and Kohler. They both scored one. The try that Hammer scores, where he cuts back inside and just put the afterburners on. My God.
Yeah. Can't stop him. He just moves like a gazelle. He was outstanding. I thought, got to run in the Origin team. Selwyn Cobbo pretty good in this game as well. Scored a nice try there as well. Down in the corner, he good game. 180 metres under his belt as well. Lifted for a big game, so been rewarded for it.
I know KP was rumoured to be at 7, and that's probably played a role in this. But I think it's a massive wrap to like there was whispers that Hammer would be the fullback. So when you consider the 2 other guys being KP, how he's playing, and Reece Walsh was like the best player in the world last year at the back end, like that shows you how good he's going. Like unbelievable.
Yeah, 100%. So look, it's only going to get better. And what's crazy is like Daniel Saifidi is a rep level front rower, and they just lost him, and they haven't missed a beat. Like imagine if they actually had Daniel Saifidi there ready to go as well.
Yeah,
far out. So they're looking red hot, guys. The Dolphins, outstanding win. I mean, you can't. I'm excited. I think they're definitely a team to contend with. Rabbitohs. Thoughts on the Rabbitohs, mate?
Yeah, I think they're leaking a lot on their edges at the moment. I think they were just, to be honest, Latrell looked dangerous early. Like at one stage early on, he got the ball on like a wide 4, and he got on the outside of Jack Bostock and got a flick away. They made a half line break, but the Dolphins scrambled well. But then off the back of that, I just thought, I know he's sort of obviously injured. That was pretty obvious at the back end of the game. But yeah, I think the Dolphins' edges just scrambled so much better than them. I will say I want to apologise. I've never bagged Ashton Ward, but I was struggling to see for a while. I thought it was going to be a big ask for someone that small to end up being a regular first grader, mate. He gets bigger and stronger every week. And that try he set up when he got through contact to find an offload to Aitken.
Yep.
I was so wrong about him. He's fucking... He's looking good.
He's a gun.
He looks the goods. I think, he obviously got injured earlier in the season, but they kind of started with him there. Good to have him back in there. I rate him highly. Good kicking game on him. Yes, a little bit small, but, something that he can kind of work on and fill out a little bit. But looks like a good kind of game managing 7, which kind of, complements Cody really nicely.
100%.
Just, unfortunately, their outside backs had quite a few errors. You had Bentley Harpe had 5, Scholl had 2, Cody Walker had 2, Kossi had 1, Campbell Graham had 1. So, like, if you just look at their backs, they had 1, 3. Sorry, fucking hell. They had essentially, so there's 12 errors. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 12 errors. That's too much.
Yeah.
Like as backs, that's way too much. Way too much. And it just killed them. And so the Rabbitohs, like, they've just been so stop and start. Like for me anyway, I know some people have been quite happy with the Rabbitohs, and they're still sitting 5th, I think, so they're still good. I haven't seen an 80-minute full-on gun performance from them yet. Matty, is your mic working? Thoughts, mate?
Well, just look at the last 4 weeks. So they had a great win against the Storm, and they back it up next week by leaking 42 against the Knights. Then they have a great win they were depleted, have a great win against the Sharks, and now have the worst game of the season by far was on Friday night. So it's just so inconsistent, so frustrating, and it seems that they can defend when they've got all the momentum and they, camp them down there. But yeah, as soon as they hit a bit of adversity, they just leak points. So it's very frustrating.
Yeah, and it's like with the game and how much of momentum swings these days, if you can't hang in for an extra set or two, you're never going to win the contest. Just never.
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny with them too. Like I met the GOAT Marky Nichols last Friday, and he was talking about in 2021 when they he said he reckons at the moment they got this thing where like they know they can score points, and when they're on, they're fucking on, and they're hard to beat. And he said how in 21 when they made the GF, they leaked back-to-back weeks 50 points against Panthers and Melbourne, and Wayne pulled him in and was like, when are you going to realise that you win a comp on defence? And from there, they went on this crazy run. I feel like they're going to need some sort of line in the sand moment at some point this year where they get together and sort of come to that agreement. You know what I mean? I don't know how you go about implementing that, but I think there's definitely a part of them where they're like, fuck, we know that when we hit our straps, like we saw it against Newcastle a couple of weeks ago, like they hit their straps and they close a 30-point deficit in a matter of minutes, essentially. So,
Yeah. Wayne Bennett does have a knack, though. He does have a knack for, 2006, they lost 5 on the trot and then went on to win the competition. So they're nowhere near as dire as that, 5 on the trot. Just need to find, I want to see the gritty side of them, the tough. So we know it's there. For example, I thought against the Tigers, they were quite gritty. I thought they were quite tough. They defended really well. So they just need to find it more regularly. Okay, on to the next game. Seagulls defeat the Tigers 46-18. I feel like I'm scared to say it, but I feel like they're a premiership threat, bro. Like, they are fucking so good. Like, that was, respectfully, an absolute clinic. Like, that was, like, the Tigers just had no answers. Like, that first early run of Olakau'atu over Safepath, like,
Shot put him, nearly threw him into the grandstand, into the Chem's Warehouse box.
Look, they were unbelievable, Manly.
Yeah, they were good. Respectfully, they probably had as good a chance to put a clinic on like that as they're going to get when you look at the outs. Like,
but they're doing it to everyone though.
I know, but yeah, they did. You can only play what's in front of you, and their best is very good at the moment. They're humming. They're in sync. Kohler, unbelievable. A couple of
bro,
nice
that
long range
try
runs.
that he scored, my god,
went through 3
speed.
or 4 different people. Yeah, they're playing some great footy. Got a lot of guys in form as well. And they're missing guys with injury too. They don't have Turbo in their team at the moment. And it doesn't seem to bother them. They're still playing some. The Fosball is alive and well. They're one of the best, most watchable teams in the comp at the moment, easily.
And they got the best defense in the comp right now too.
Yep.
Yeah, Fosball's legit. I thought Clayton at the back too. Like, he had a couple of nice try assists for Saab where he threw these mad long balls and he was just sort of popping up around the joint. Like,
Yeah, I got to put my hand up. I got that wrong. So I remember at the start of the Seabold put him at fullback over Kohler, and I was like, why do that? You've got Kohler there. Clearly I was wrong because Falala, he's good.
yeah,
He's good.
he killed it. I do believe, and this is just purely going off rugby league vibe, like I've got nothing to back this up, but I think that there must be an aspect of Kohler who wants to play centre. I think he must have had a word to him at some point, because I think you still would lean towards him, and they sort of have, and he's gone well. Wouldn't make sense to go away from him. So I think maybe his preference must be centre. But yeah, Clayton looked really good.
Well,
and
Clayton had a try, 2 try assists, 265 metres, 75 post contact, 3 tackle breaks, a line break, and 4 line break assists.
Yeah, killed it. Absolutely brained it. So yeah, he was outstanding. I think he's a good get, because I'd be, given there's a couple other guys there that they've sort of toyed with a little bit in terms of Tolu, Lehigh, Turbo's going to come back into this side. I'd love to see them finally pull the trigger on chuck him at centre. Clayton looks the goods. Like,
So what do you do there?
you mean who comes?
Yeah,
out?
who?
It's,
Oh, how could you change it? Like,
well, you
is
couldn't
there a
right
world
now.
where you make no changes right now?
You couldn't right now.
Surely you couldn't, could you?
Yeah. I mean, they're playing such good footy.
Like, you're the best defense in the comp. essentially since Foz has taken over, they're the best team in the comp.
Yep.
Essentially, I know they got beaten by Penrith.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could, which is insane to say. Like, I never thought I would say that when it comes to Tommy Turbo. I just want to read you Olakau'atu's stats. A try assist, 21 runs for 262 metres, 85 post contact, 8 tackle breaks, 3 line breaks, a line break assist and offload, and he made 20 tackles and he didn't miss a one.
It's unbelievable.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
He looks proper unstoppable at the moment. Like that, like Seyfarth was fully in front of him. Like you couldn't have watched that and gone, it's a shit attempt at tackling. It was just like, it was like watching a vehicle. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
it just fucking, it was no chance of getting stopped.
Mate, they're flying. They got Lehigh in the back. Garrick's playing good footy. Fogarty was great. Brooks has been great. How good's Brooks been?
And he's had to be a. Yeah.
Since Foz has taken over, he's been playing some serious footy. Luke Brooks.
Genuine question. And look, things can change. Their form can drop. They can get a bunch of injuries. If they stay injury free, are they a premiership threat?
Yeah, I think they are. Particularly because, Turbo, he'll be back at some point. And that's always been the thing. Like sometimes he's got injured at the wrong time of the year. If he's back and fit and firing at the pointy end, and you add him on top of a team that's already high on confidence, enjoying their footy, the morale's obviously good. They're loving playing with each other and for Kieran Forum. Yeah, I reckon they are. They're probably a little bit of a tier below, your Penrith. It's basically Penrith, and then there's a little pool of 3 or 4 teams.
Yep.
They're probably in that pool, I reckon.
Yeah, the day before Fosball sort of kicked off, we sort of went in depth on like the issues around their middles over the last few years, right? And how the idea was like if Turbo's there and they're outside backs roster, and that's always been the case. The attitudinal shift in their middles though has been like night and day. It's been unbelievable. And I think a guy who I thought yesterday, and I've seen a couple of weeks like leading into this game, but this game I thought it was really obvious. Nathan Brown can be such a point of difference for him.
Yeah.
Through the middle when he comes on, he's ball playing and just that aggression that he probably adds a bit of like bit more cement.
I just think they've simplified the forwards' roles.
Yeah.
They like Foz is telling them just hit holes for one. Don't try and fight people constantly and get extra meters. Hit the contact, win the contact, find your front. And it's just their ruck speed is so quick. Then you've got so much pace on the edges that teams are getting torn to shreds because they're just too quick.
Yeah.
They're just too fast. And I think Foz, he's just leant all the way in and said, guys, as a forward, doesn't matter how many me's you make, all that matters is a quick play the ball. That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, but also, at the start of the year, from what we saw, from what we've heard, trying to sort of play a certain game plan where like the middles look noisy and some of these guys, like a Gerbo, for example, trying to get him to overplay his hand and they wig out. Sometimes you get a guy like a Brown, and he's obviously not as good as Aaron Clark at the moment, but these guys who just, like a Dylan Walker's a good example, it's more natural to them to sort of ball play and the decision-making process around being a middle and when to carry, when to tip, when to play out the back. So I think he's a nice guy that they can sort of throw in there who opens up. They were just gassing him down the edges,
Just too fast.
Too quick.
Just
and
way too quick.
you got to free those guys up. I thought he did a really good job when he was on of doing that.
Good to see Saab back doing what he's doing. He was he's just so quick, bro. He's just so fucking fast. But yeah, outside of that, I can't. Everyone at the Manly Seagulls right now is absolutely flying. That they are just even if they aren't winning the ruck, they just go boom straight out to their speed and they will just gas you. They are just so quick. Or they just go Olakau'atu, get us a quick play the ball, and they will make you pay every time they can get some kind of they don't even need to win the ruck. That's how quick they are. That's how it's just amazing. It's absolutely amazing what they're doing. So. Look, if Olakau'atu stays injury-free and they stay injury-free across the board, their forwards, just focus on defense and just get as quick play the ball as you can, and that's all you need to worry about. Outside of it, just simplifies everything for you. Very exciting. Tigers, look, they just got so many injuries, bro. What? Yeah. Yes, are they playing as well as you would hope? No, but at the same time, fuck. Yeah. They are missing so many people.
And it's not only the volume of injuries, it's who it is, who's missing. Buller, Dewey, Appy, suspended. Sam Fainu, now Taylor May's out for possibly 12 months with the shoulder sort of issue as well. It's tough. So you bring 4 or 5 of those guys back in. It's a very different looking footy side. Do they win? Possibly not, but it's definitely a lot more competitive than we saw on the weekend. I think just key players out, very hard to cover them, and a lot of guys that probably not quite at that level. Got found out a little bit by a very good side on the weekend.
Yeah, you are missing a lot of guys. I do think that your edges gave away a lot of space on the outside, especially going up against a team that you know is so quick. I still think that was an issue. I thought it was very obvious how much you guys miss Alex Twal, which isn't a hot take, right? Like we know how many tackles he makes, but I thought his ball playing, like it was really obvious missing that.
Of course.
Also, really good to see. So Ethan Roberts on the boo. So he was a Roosters junior coming through, and they had massive raps on him, and then he sort of went missing in the system a bit, and there was sort of question marks when I'd seen him play a few times when he was younger and just how good he was. But he had 14 runs, 129 metres. He had a few errors, but he definitely showed that he's going to be a first grader, and I think it was good to see because he was sort of spoken about as someone who was going to just burst onto the scene at like 18 sort of thing, and it's taken him a couple of years longer, but no, it was good to see him out there.
He was good. I thought he was good. But yeah, the Tigers, I just think you're seeing as well, like, you know, if you're going up against Manly, you can't have reactive defence. I think you've got to dictate to them what is happening. And I think that on the weekend, what you saw is guys almost playing like a traditional defensive role. And when they're just faster than you, and there's multiple players that are faster than you, and they're good at what they do, they're going to gash you. Whereas I feel like if the Tigers were to have that game back again, I think they would have just used up and in defence. Don't even let the boys get the ball, cut it off, try and ruin the momentum of the Manly Seagulls. But when they were sliding the way they were, like, they were just getting fucking gassed constantly.
Yeah, you can't use the sideline on Jason Saab.
No, which they tried a few times. Didn't work.
The first try he scored, he didn't even have space, and he was gone.
Yeah.
Like,
you just got to stop the ball from getting to him. Like especially if your outside backs are not necessarily the fastest outside backs. So, yeah, a lot of injuries, a lot of inexperience, and a club that is on the rebuild. So hopefully they can bounce back once they get their boys back. Okay, on to the game. Probably the game of the round, to be honest. Cowboys defeat the Roosters 18-14. And the Cowboys' defence is the NordVPN Defence Player of the Week. The NordVPN Defence Player of the Week is back for 2026. I was overseas before the season started, and I used NordVPN myself. Sporting events, TV shows, movies, you name it. I watched it like I was back home, which was super convenient. Another great feature is that you can switch your virtual location to so many different places in the world. This allows you to save money by purchasing flights, hotels, subscriptions from other countries at a cheaper price. It's also super safe. NordVPN provides you with privacy online, leaving no digital footprint by hiding your IP address. It's like wearing an invisibility cloak online. To get the best discount off your NordVPN plan, go to nordvpn.com/bloke. Our link will also give you 4 extra months on the 2-year plan, and there's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. The link is in the podcast episode description box. Now let's get into the Defense Player of the Week. And it was the Cowboys getting 210 in the bins. 210 in the bins and still winning 18-12. Absolutely incredible effort from the Cowboys. And I got to give Toddy Payton a rap. Like, I thought he was done. I thought he was gone from the Cowboys. Now, to my understanding, at the end of last year, they did a massive review, not just the normal yearly review. They did a massive review of the entire football department. And I want to give credit to the administration at the Cowboys, to Todd Payton at the Cowboys. Whatever they did after that review, it is clearly working, because that was a gutsy win against one of the better sides in the competition, and 20 minutes where you had one less player. I think the Cowboys deserve massive raps, and also missing Dearden and Taumalolo. Like, it's one of the best wins in the Cowboys club for years, I reckon. Like, it's an outstanding win from the Cowboys. What do you think of this one, mate?
Yeah, I agree. I think the score kind of flattered the Roosters. Like, I don't think the Roosters actually deserved to be in the contest as much as they were at the end. Like, I thought both Simbins, I thought Lodgy, Simbin, and Cotters were probably
Cotters was outrageous.
Yeah,
Cotters was like, is he supposed to wait to the last second that he can see Sam Walker is holding the ball, then tackle him? Like, you've got to time these things.
You also had like enough bodies in the picture. Like, we saw another one later in the round where their rationale for it not being 10 in the bin, it was a similar sort of situation, and they were like, there's enough defenders in the picture, so it's not a professional foul. I thought that was identical. I also thought, like,
it was actually a knockback from Sam Walker too, by the way.
Yeah, it's also like frustrating watching, like, with the Lodge one. I don't think he made contact with the head at all. And you're watching this thing, and like, it was probably like around the neck, so I think a penalty would have been fair. But you're hearing them go, oh yeah, he makes contact with the head, and you're watching him not make contact with the head, and you're like, how? And like, that's me as a Roosters fan. But yeah, I thought both their halves were great, like especially Liam Sutton on the boo.
He was great. Yep.
He made 29 tackles, and I think the Roosters did a good job at getting at him, because Clifford made 16. Yep. So they obviously were trying to target him, and he stood up, and Roosters had to get pretty creative to score 2 tries against them. So, great win for the
I
Cows.
can't believe that Sam Walker no try. Like, you can see the ball go past his hand and go back. I don't know how that, like, they just assumed it was a knock on because his hand was coming forward.
I've lost touch with that rule.
I don't know
I don't understand how it works anymore.
And I know there's some people thinking right now, like, no, it was a knock on because his hand's going forward. Like, go back and watch it. The ball goes back behind him by a meter.
I remember being about 15 and people started throwing chat about like where you're facing and the goal line. I just thought, fuck, why can't it just be I touched it here, it bounced there, like that's backwards.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Simplify it.
Yeah, very simple.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought got unlucky there. What do you think of this, mate?
To your point, backs to the walls for the Cowboys. Like such an, they were $4.20 head to head in this one. Nobody really gave them a chance. A lot of key outs. Tamalolo did, and 2 of their best players this season. But yeah, they really aimed up for this, and Jakey Clifford. I mean, he was the guy that kind of really stood up. Drinky pretty good as well, I thought in this one, but they showed a hell of a lot of ticker, and they're very different to the start of the season where they didn't defend that well and they were letting a lot of points in, and we were thinking Toddy Payton's under pressure. They're in sync and they're responding to him, playing for each other at the moment. They're playing some good footy, with those guys
Scrambling
out.
really well too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So huge outs to lift like that against a team who'd won 6 games in a row is pretty impressive stuff.
Mate, Jakey Clifford, far out. Like, I remember a few years ago when he was playing at the Knights and he was leading the Dally M after like 2 or 3 weeks. And then, their season just completely imploded and he struggled. Then I think he went over to Super League. If you had told me he's going to come back and be almost unlucky not to make the Queensland side, I would have said you are out of your mind. But the footy he is playing is like, you could make the argument he's been the best half at the club this year.
Oh, I think there's no doubt on form that he has been. Like, I think it's a great redemption arc. I think he's actually been robbed not being in this side, to be honest, given the circumstances. Like, especially given the guy that they've gone with, he just bested him. Like,
and also Ezra's there as well, 18, where Clifford could be 18.
Yeah, less than 48 hours ago, the guy that they've gone with at 7, he completely outplayed him. I just think he's been hard done by there. But yeah, I think it's good to see. Like, he was obviously so highly touted when he started there. Didn't work out. Ended up in another club that was rebuilding. He was like the scapegoat a little bit. Went and found some confidence in the Super League, and he's back home carving up. So it's mad.
Jakey Clifford, outstanding. Who stood out for you, mate?
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely probably the one for me that I thought really took it by the scruff of the leg. My man, though, Tommy McKaylee, I still like what he brings to the table. No Tamalolo, he still gets out there, has a rip. Been starting with Tamalolo out, cranked out a heap of meters, defended pretty well in the middle as well. I know I had him as a smoky a couple of weeks ago to make Origin, but I don't think he would have looked out of place in the squad that we saw named. You know what you're going to get from him. You're going to get a bit of punch. That's something that I think might be missing potentially from the Queensland bench at the moment as well. So I've been impressed with what he's put together this season. And I think, with a bit of a hole in the pack there, I thought he was pretty impressive in this one as well.
Yeah, he's a gun. Who knows? Game 2 or 3? Who knows? They
That's
need a bit of impact.
Long series.
Mate, you know who I love? I know he has errors in his game. I know. Here or there. Tom Chester, bro.
Unbelievable.
He is a gun.
So
that
quick.
shot that he put off on Hugo Savala that put him out, it essentially changed the game. It essentially changed the game. And he just launched himself. It wasn't the techie wasn't there. He just launched himself and said, fuck it.
Yeah, I was talking to Matty about this in the green room about it was kind of like if someone just bursts a balloon because like they kick it back to, I think it went Fluff first and he gives it to Teddy and it looks like this mad counter attack off the kick return and then he just gets buried over the sideline. It's like, oh, it's their ball, 20 out, changeover, tackle
Yeah, you've
zero.
gone from this could be a line break to, oh, fuck, we're about to get
Yeah,
scored.
I was like watching, I was like, fuck, how is this? Then I was like, bang, buried by Chester over the side. I was like, oh, okay.
Mate, I love Chester. And yeah, he's our NordVPN Defense Player of the Week. He is he's all heart, he's all ticker. There's not much of him, but he attacks every moment of every game like it's the last moment he's ever going to play rugby league. I fucking love watching him play. And you know what's crazy? If you had him in that Origin squad, I know it's crazy, like it would be a huge smoky. Mate, that's how much I love this bloke. I think he is a fucking star of the future. He's playing out of position. I think he's more of a fullback anyway. Mate, he is a gun. A gun. I love Chester. And that's crazy coming in a team with Purdue in it, who is also fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just so good to see.
Great watching those two guys really, blossom as footballers. They've been pretty good for the last few years, but this year particularly, they've really hit their straps. And, the Cowboys are reaping the rewards of it.
Okay, on to the Roosters. And also, shout out to Braden Burns, 2 tries, another good game. Roosters. Now, I know all you Roosters fans, Yeah, say I hate yous. I don't hate yous at all. But this is what I'm talking about, bro. This is what I am talking about. You get all this momentum. You look like a premiership threat, and then you have games like this where where this happens, and you go, well, how can I trust that these guys can make a run into the finals? Now, I'm not saying that they're done for me, but I'm saying like you don't see the Panthers do this, or even the Melbourne Storm when they were, on top. Now, maybe you could say, okay, the Roosters are more close to the Broncos. Okay, maybe that is the case. But they were so flat. I feel like they peaked against the Broncos in that first half. They were okay against the Titans. But then they come out and they do all their old problems, which is throwing the ball willy-nilly, making a bunch of errors, and not completing high. Like, they know what the formula is for the Roosters. If you can just complete high, you will put yourself in a position to win most games because they're so talented. I don't get it. Am I out of whack here? What's going on? You're a Roosters man.
I completely agree with you. I think it's funny, like Broncos is always a comparison that gets thrown up because like a lot of attacking upside. You would never see Adam Reynolds or Ben Hunt or Duffy for that matter or anyone who's going to be the halves for them kick the ball away as often as we do in good ball, which I think against those better sides, that's why you've seen the Broncos be more competitive with them than us and actually become one of those sides at the back end of last year to win the comp. Like, 3 times there was the kick for Egan Butcher, which Egan probably should have scored that.
But it's still a high-risk play.
High-risk play, tackle 2 or 3 it was. Teddy tapped it on at one stage to Bauger, and again, it's like, Bauger probably should have caught it, but again, like, it wasn't on. There was no space. Again, turning the ball over on tackle 3. Teddy kicked it dead at one point for Toya on tackle 3, attacking the line. Like, against a team like Penrith, you can't do that. And I think we've been guilty. Sometimes we just get away with it against teams who aren't of that caliber because there is so much strike and talent. But it's just frustrating. Another guy I think we're really going to miss, I think he's going to sign with PNG. And I think when he's gone, everyone's going to go, Connor Watson. He's unbelievable. Like, ran for 100 metres, set up a try, 50 tackles. Like,
crazy.
Gets through so much work. He's such a point of difference. And I know, like, everyone talks about the 6-man bench and is there still a relevance for a guy like him? He's been coming on at lock and just carving up. Like, yeah.
Just with this kicking stuff, look, I like that is a very unique part of like Sam Walker's game or even Teddy's game to a degree. But like, it's almost like it's evidence that they're not confident in their goal line attack because they need to keep going to this like trick play, which is a second tackle kick. I'd consider a second tackle kick a trick play. And I just think that, like, surely they've got to be more confident in their ability to score points. Like, get in the grind. Like, if you don't score that set, all good, go again.
But even like, so on the Ramsey try when Toya got the ball kicked to him, that was a situation. Watching it live, you're like, it's wrong if they don't kick here because of just how quickly the line came up and there was space there to attack. Those other ones, I would argue, they weren't like that. The Teddy one for Toya, to his credit, sort of was like that. It was just not well executed, but it's frustrating because we don't need to do that.
Definitely don't need to do it.
It's just like,
and I feel like that stuff. I feel like you keep that in the back pocket for if you've spent 60 minutes trying to crack them and you can't, kind of thing. And maybe we're being too harsh because it has worked in the past. But I just look at that squad and I go, just build pressure, boys. You'll fall over the line. You are too big and too strong. Like, go back to that Broncos game, and they just flooded the middle. Like, it was just hard unders lines. Quick play of the balls and just rolled down the park constantly.
Yeah, I think we need to be more willing at the Roosters to score the 3rd or 4th set sometimes. Like, I know repeat sets aren't as guaranteed as they were back in the day or a few years ago, but I think we're the kind of team where teams will be able to scramble well enough for us once, twice. I mean, even with set restarts now, I think we build up enough pressure. That's when you will see us fall over the line or split them open. Like, I feel like we kick the ball away or throw it away with a low percentage play too often before we can build that pressure. So that's going to be yeah.
Well, it's funny is even the Sam Walker it was a try because I thought it went back because he ended up scoring. But even then, he didn't necessarily need to kick it. He could have gone low.
He would have scored if he dived for sure.
So I'm just like, why are you kicking there, bro? Just go low, and if you get tackled, you go again in the next play.
But there's also, it's weird because like I feel like if I didn't go for the Roosters and I didn't want them to win the comp, he's so fun to watch. Like, you see that stuff and it is like watching a 10-year-old in the park just being like, fuck it, whatever.
It's incredible. Yeah,
It's good fun to watch. But then as a fan of the team wanting to win, you see that and you're like, you probably would have scored if you dived. You know what I mean? Like,
well, at the very least, and if you get held up, you get held up. All good.
Yeah.
All good. Go again.
Go again. That's right. That's what I'd love to see him do more of. But yeah.
It's tough. What do you reckon, mate?
Chookies, yeah. I mean, a little bit clunky, in attack game. They probably, they were heavy favourites to win it. But a few little Positives, Cody Ramsey, loving the yarn, coming back in. He's having a rip, playing some good footy. Obviously had the try on the weekend. Thought he was really solid on the wing. And Naf White in the middle, he doesn't
he's a
let
beast,
you
bro.
down, win, lose,
10
or
tackle breaks.
yeah,
Fucking hell.
machine. So he certainly took it to the Cowboys through the middle as well. Those guys probably my two standout Chookies players, but
70% completion rate.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, tell you what, another guy as well, like Fluff Savala. Like, for someone who was a 7 last year, he was playing centre in this game. He's been playing centre last few weeks, doing a really good job. But then they moved him to the wing during this game after we lost Toops, and they wanted to give Bowger a breather. And the way he carried the ball on the weekend, Hugo, for someone who's been like he's been a half his whole career,
Yep.
like strictly a half, and like he was like out of yardage the way like he carried for 158 meters, which is like crazy. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. His ability to play multiple positions is crazy. And unfortunately, Palga had a very tough night at the office. He got hooked, which sucks because he honestly, there was a period there where he was the best reserve guy cover ever.
100%.
He would come in and rip so much so that sign with another club, bro. You're going to start there.
Yeah.
And mate, just the last few opportunities he's gotten, he's just struggled. It's very strange, very very strange. Look, it's not the end of the world, and the Roosters can go on another run, and they still can be a premiership threat. But it's not like they lost to a $2 underdog or they lost to a Cowboy side paying $4.60 without Tamalolo and Dearden like that. It's a big loss. A big loss.
I'm glad as a Roosters fan that Walker is playing Origin, because I think a lot of the things we just spoke about that we'd love to see him do a bit differently, I think being around certain guys
Might
as
help.
coaches
Yeah, okay.
there is going to help. So
Yep.
I'm hopeful anyway. Fuck.
Yeah. So look, as I said, it's not the end of the world. Look at the Broncos last year. They got absolutely towed up by Manly and then went on a run. But it's just it's frustrating because it's there. It's right there. And I'm assuming as a Roosters fan, you're just can you just play conservative just for a little bit? Just give me that. And then if it doesn't work, we'll go back to the crazy stuff. But we'll see. Okay. On to the next game. Storm defeat the Eels 34-8. Look, I think the Storm would have won regardless, but there were a couple of calls early on that the Eels got so dudded. It was crazy. Really, really good win for the Storm. The Eels, they just ran out of puff, really. First 60 minutes, they were pretty much in the game. They missed some opportunities, especially early on the second half. I felt like they ran out of puff, though, towards the back end of the game. What do you think of this one, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to tell. I think the para middle at the moment, there's a lot probably missing there in terms of what they need for their strike players to be able to perform. But I think a really good indicator with the Storm where they're at is when you're seeing their halves and their spine generally flatten up, run lines off each other, and we saw Grant score a try at one point where Suarez made this big kick return, and then Munster gets the dummy half first. Grant just punches the line, scores under the post.
Yep.
Munster did something similar earlier on. So I think that's always a good indicator. And they showed again what they showed last year, where when they are a front foot momentum team, they can be very, very hard to stop. I still do wonder about, wasn't a problem against the Eels on Saturday night, but I still have my concerns that their pack's probably a bit too big to compete with the top teams at the moment.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what they do there. I wonder. It's actually funny because Roosters actually recruited in 2021. They recruited all these real fast ball runners, and the game got brought back a little bit, which hurt the Roosters. Ironically, now it's probably going to work in their favour. You look at the Melbourne Storm, and I wonder whether the game got brought back last year. I wonder whether it's hurting. And then they went out and recruited Hetherington, Moali, two big boppers. I wonder if they had their time again and knowing how quick the game was going to be, whether they would have tried to recruit some smaller mobile forwards. Because no one knew that this was going to happen. And Munster's spoken about how different the game feels out there. I will say, I love Cooper Clark.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah.
Fucking big boy, just flying through there. That's so good to see.
There's a bit about him, isn't there? And got a bit of a knack of scoring tries too. He's got a couple so far this season, but a hell of a player. Obviously, they're on that long-term deal. He's been really impressive so far. They're key players who were a little bit quiet when they went on that run where they lost 7 in a row. Grant, Munster, obviously Hughes is back now as well. they're all starting to find form. Like last couple of weeks, they've really got their mojo working again. Obviously, Grant and Munster will be out for a couple of weeks now with Origin, but off the back of those guys, you're seeing the kind of the old Melbourne Storm again, who are just like pretty ruthless with teams that are, probably to be fair, a cut below them. So last few weeks they've got the season back on track a little bit.
I will say, Moses Leo, I know he had some errors in the back end of the game. He opened the game and was killing it.
He was flying.
He was
absolutely
flying, bro. I think they may have found his position. He's probably a winger rather than a centre.
I agree.
Less
Yeah.
decisions. Doesn't have to, he just has to follow his centre wherever the centre goes in regards to defence. But in attack, mate, he was electric, Moses Leo.
Yeah, I'm loving the look of Lasardi as well. He
yeah.
ran for 128 metres, made 44 tackles, which I think, with guys like him in the side, maybe you can get away with, especially when the spine is front foot and running, maybe you can get away with those bigger bodies. But again, I wouldn't shock me at all if Melbourne go on a run, they come 5th or 6th or whatever. I still just have my concerns at the back end. Probably, obviously, different concerns, but similar to a Roosters, where it's like, are any of us shocked if the Roosters finish 4th or 5th? Like, probably not, but it's a different conversation in terms
finals
of can they
footy.
do it.
Looking at their halves, so Harry Grant, 63 metres, Jerome Hughes, 120, Munster, 144. It's like both their 6 and 7 ran more than every forward.
Yeah, Munster made 33 tackles too, which I think
Except for Cooper Clark.
when he's on and he's hungry and he's looking for work, I feel like in some of those games where they weren't getting the job done earlier in the year, he sort of sits back a bit sometimes and sort of probably waits for the game to come to him, which that would have been how he would have had to have played, say, playing with a guy like Cronk, or when there's been other strike players in the side over the last few years around him. Whereas I think now it's like, I love seeing when he's on ball, he's looking for work, he's aggressive in D. Like, it's good to see.
Interesting couple of weeks. So I think it's Doggies next week, and then it's the Roosters. That's going to be a real test to, where are the Storm at really? Then they've got the Knights. Then after that, they've got a bye. And then after that, they have the Raiders. So you'd have to think that they'll get more confidence against the Dogs. I'd be surprised if they don't beat the Dogs. But after that, they've got a month of footy that's... you know what's crazy? The Dogs are paying $1.89. The Dogs are favourites against the Melbourne Storm.
Well, I guess just missing Munster and Grant.
Oh, yes. Okay,
there'll be probably not as many out for the Dogs through Origin.
Yes, you know what? I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's Origin, and they're going to be missing... Yeah,
All the key guys who made them look so good on Saturday
Yeah,
night.
well,
Yes, the two that have played them back into form. So
And...
it is the Dogs though. So probably
But it's a big month of footy. It's season defining.
It is.
Because they essentially need to win essentially every game.
correct, and they're going to be impacted by all 3 Origin games.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Eels. It's hard to be too critical of the Eels. They got so many injuries. They do fight till the end. It just was the opportunities they missed, and a couple of errors from outside backs just killed them. They're already up against it. If you even get half a sniff, you just got to take it if you're already up against it. And they just didn't, especially early in that second half.
Yeah, I thought Moses kicked really well. I thought he put their back three under a lot of pressure, especially with those bombs he was putting up. I think Sewer only dropped 1 or 2, but Melbourne's back three did a pretty good job on him. But the kicks were really good. To your point, Kempy, when off the kickoff, Mawali runs it back after half time, Walker forces an error. It's their ball, massive momentum shift, and then off the first play of the scrum, they try and run a scrum play to the right and put the ball down and give it straight back to the Storm. I think those sort of little moments are probably what cost them here. They're probably not winning enough of those moments, and
they don't have the roster to back those. If you make a bunch of errors, we can still stay.
Can't back your D in because you don't have the guys at the moment, unfortunately. So, yeah, I really like when a couple times they were doing this thing where they'd have Walker set up as the first receiver on a long shift, and Volkman would sweep around late from the left back to the open side to Walker would become the lead. So I'd love to see when they're using Walker in so many different ways, they look really exciting and dangerous in different points. I'd love to see them do more of that, but I just think their middles defensively at the moment probably aren't giving them enough. And I don't know how you go about that because I don't, far as I'm aware, they're not missing.
Well, you've got
anyone drastic.
You got oh my God, Riley Smith.
Yes, so he's out at
he
9.
usually plugs that middle really well. Talon Da Silva not necessarily known for his defence, more of an attacking number 9.
100%.
So Jack de Belin isn't usually the starting 13. There was another one as well. I think it was a Pryke. He literally just took the tackle off, and they just went straight past him. That's inexperience. So yeah, it's hard to be too critical though. Like you got rookies and experience, you got a bunch of injuries. That last 20 minutes, the Storm blew them away. Don't forget, guys, go to codesports.com.au/bloke. Make sure to sign up, get your discount. No more paywall. Just pay it once a year. You have it sorted. You don't have to worry about paywall. You get all the best stories in sports and big yarns about, individual players and their story, but also all the breaking news. It's at codesports.com.au. Also, don't forget, Longtel, the best internet in all the land. Go to longtel.net.au/bloke. Use your code bloke. 7 days free trial. You don't need a credit card. You don't need a contract. And literally, Longtel runs Bloke. That's how good the internet is. It has changed our lives. Every person we give it to, they come back to me and say, mate, it has literally changed my life. So Longtel internet, the best in the land. Okay, let's get into it. Knights defeat the Titans 36-12. And I'm sitting up there in the first half, and the jerseys are flying around the field, and the game's close, and they had a lot of opportunities, the Titans. They should have probably scored a few of them, and I'm thinking, is there an ambush here? Is there a jersey-based ambush happening at Magic Round?
Charges.
And then unfortunately, the back end of the first half, the Knights start to get a bit of momentum. They looked a bit clunky initially with Sandon Smith and Brown. They started to get their rhythms right. Back into the half, Titans looked fatigued. And then essentially in the second half, they fought a little bit, but the Knights just ran away with it, 36-12. So I'm not going to be too harsh on the Titans. The Knights, I'm not going to be like greatest win ever, but also good, solid win. What do you think of this one, mate?
Yeah, I thought the Titans did a pretty good job of putting the Knights under some pressure early. And then I thought the Knights did a good job of just weathering that storm and just being patient. Like, I think the Titans at the moment, I do think, as we sort of have spoken about, I do think they're on the up. Like, even seeing little bits of like Cooper Byers ball playing, how he's going, seeing Pascoe at 9, Zane, like at least they're leaning into that.
And also, they've never played together, really.
That's the thing. Like, they haven't. Not only have they not really played together, they're only just new to NRL. So if they're leaning into that and they're sticking with it, I can see the plan. Like, obviously, JoJo's gonna be better off from being in Origin. They lose too many moments at the moment. You know what I mean? Like, just key, like that Keeney pass was a big play from Marzu to intercept that, because if he gets that wrong, they probably score in the corner. Well, for sure they score in the corner. You had that try that Gagai scored where, for half a second, Jaden Campbell just switched off at marker, which you just can't be doing. Like, few bad reads on their edges, but like
they still put themselves in a position to make it competitive though. That first half, they were camped down Knights End for quite a while for periods, and I just think they looked clunky. Of course, they look clunky. Like, they haven't played together.
100%.
You've got Campbell that's never played with Zane, or not never, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You've got Kinney that would have you got Pascoe, who's also new into first grade. You've got Cooper Bye that's starting to kind of become a starting 13, or at least be a bit of a ball player. So like, I agree with you, mate. Like, it's there. It's not as dire as, say, even though the Dragons are really good on the weekend, but like, I'm not looking at them like the Dragons where I'm going, mate, this is like, where's the answer? As I said, we'll get to the Dragons. They were outstanding on the weekend. But they gave themselves opportunities. Once it clicks, like, for example, let's say in the first half, they score 2 out of the 3 opportunities they created down there. All of a sudden, they're ahead going into halftime. Energy's a bit different. It could have changed the match, but what are your thoughts on this game, mate? Knights versus Titans.
Yeah, I mean, the Titans, it was a bit of an arm wrestle, sort of, until about half-time, but the Knights have been playing some pretty good attacking football in the last few weeks, just managed to get their tail up, particularly in the second half, and kind of run away with it. The second half, they were really all over them. 1, 2, 3, about 6 tries to 1, blew them away. Too good for them. I've been really impressed with this season, both of their wingers. Obviously, it's been great when Callan's been back there. Back three's like such a threat. But Dom Young and Greg Marju have both had, both been back to the form they had 2 or 3 years ago when the Knights were humming and had that run went into the 8. Greg Marju in particular, it's almost been like having Wendell Saylor in your team out there. Teams just can't contain him at the moment. Yep. Strong, fast, over 250 metres again on the weekend. He's done that a few weeks in a row now. So they're getting them off to a really good start with their sets, that back three, and they're having a bit of success and finishing well as well.
Do you reckon Marju will make the Kiwis?
I mean, you would assume so, wouldn't you? Like, I reckon he's playing that good at the moment. Like, what he offers out of his own end, he runs like, I reckon he could run through a brick wall. Yeah. Like, I actually reckon he could run through a brick wall. You're watching it, you're like, holy shit. Like, how are you going to stop him? And I mean, even plays like what he came up with on the weekend, like, that was at a point, like, the game was pretty sure it was like 6-all at that point.
And that didn't fall in his lap. He went for that intercept. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
actually shot out of the line for it.
Gets between them, sort of takes it above his head. So it was a big defensive play. Like he went chips in on it, he executed it. I'd be picking him for sure.
You've got Mulatalo, he'll lock one spot
Yeah,
down if
well,
he's
he's
fit.
a given.
I'm trying to think. Casey McLean, you'd probably say gets a centre spot, but then
Yeah.
and you've got Timoko, who probably won't, depending on how the rest of the season goes. And you've got Ito.
Witeni Zelezniak, is he another?
Nah, I think I'd go Marju.
Yep.
I'd go Marju
the
at
moment.
this stage.
Yep.
He has played for Samoa. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, is he not eligible for New Zealand?
Oh no, I think he's both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
he'll be playing.
Could you check, please?
Yeah.
Apologies if I got that wrong. I thought.
He's definitely Kiwi, but he has played for Samoa.
Okay. Because I was going to say, otherwise he should be fucking in Origin then.
Yeah.
Him on the wing for Queensland. Samoa's in Queensland, isn't it?
Let's not be silly.
Close enough.
Let's
We
not be
don't really need him, to be honest.
silly. Bring Matt Scott out of retirement if you want a big body on the wing. That's what we're doing as New South Wales.
Shane Tronk. Bring Shane Tronk out of time at
bring
the goat.
Tronky back.
So in regards to the Knights, let's get to the Knights.
So born in Auckland and of Samoan descent. So yeah,
Okay.
I guess he's both.
But Jermaine Osako is another one.
Osaka, that's a good one. That's a great shout.
Yeah.
The Knights. So I thought Sanders Smith took a little bit to get into his groove. I thought him and Lucas on that left edge, isn't he?
Yeah.
They just seemed to be missing each other a little bit early on. Once they gelled and they kind of like started to get their timing right, it was really, really good. Fletcher Sharp, just get him on a footy field. He'll get him on a footy field, he'll score a meaty. He can he just finds it somewhere, somehow. Some way, somehow.
He's one of those guys that you just want to hear like Phil Gould describe as a footballer more than a player. You know what I mean? Like
he's a real rugby league player.
Yeah, him at centre, he did so well, and Brownie and what he offers their attack in terms of the when he's just taking the line on and just the way it squares them up. I can't believe, obviously he's a big in for them this year, but a lot of the other guys have been there for a few years. I can't believe how well Holbrook's done with their attack. It's
I got to say, not enough people are giving the Knights administration enough credit. They signed Dylan Brown on a 10-year deal, and I reckon if you did a vote, 80% of people would have said that it's a terrible idea.
probably more.
Now, Harry granted, we still have 8 years. Well, it's 8-year deal with 2-year option. I'm pretty sure. So it's
Tim
a long
granted.
deal, but right now with all the information we have, Knights administration in this offseason have done the best of any club in the competition.
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely. To the coaching appointment, to the players that they brought in. They just look like a completely different team this year to last. They're enjoying their footy. They couldn't score a try to save themselves last year. They're one of the most exciting, watchable teams in the comp right now. Even when Callum Ponga was out, they had plenty of points in them. So
They've
you're
got
right.
the third best attack in the competition.
Yeah. It's been you're spot on, Kempy. I think a big rap to their recruiting team, everyone who's made these decisions and these appointments. So far, we're only half a season into it all, but they're looking pretty good.
To go from spoon to sixth, I think now. So they're sitting sixth. They've played 11, so they've still got a bye in hand. They've won 7, so they actually would be in the top 4 if they had their bye. That's crazy. They'd be in the top 4. If they had their bye right now, they would be sitting just above Manly. So right now we're looking at a top 4 side that was wooden spoon, and we're at round 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this game would have been for Holbrook one of the great Australian I told you so's as well. He was sacked at a time. He had the Titans on the up, and I think they just got impatient with him. But the other point I want to make with him is how he's using KP, right? And obviously, credit to him for getting through that period when they didn't have him or Brownie. But to use a fullback essentially at 7 in good ball when you're a coach who's been sacked before and you're coming in and taking over the spoon side is a massive ballsy play. We're not talking about Wayne Bennett here who he can do whatever he wants and people, if it works, they're that's amazing. If it didn't or it took time, all of a sudden he's the most under pressure guy in the comp.
Well, I was critiquing him. I was saying, why is he still waiting before the first trial to see who is in the spine? I was saying that's the wrong thing to do. So clearly I was wrong because he has nailed it. He actually, I was watching the footy yesterday. Luke Keary was in the room that we're in, and I asked him, "Is Holbrook as good as I think he is?" Because I've always rated Holbrook. I didn't understand why the Titans got rid of him. I thought it was way too premature. I thought he was getting the best out of a roster that and they still haven't recovered since that moment. And Luke Keary, because obviously he was the attacking coach at the Roosters. And Luke Keary was like, mate, he is a gun, an absolute gun, knows footy inside out. So we're seeing that with the Knights right now. And this is what they're like now. what are they like in 2 or 3 years when they can recruit, but also when they can start bringing some of these juniors through? Like, fuck, who knows? Like, who really knows? Like, this is a team that's sitting fourth, essentially, who, on paper, to begin the year, most of us would have had them, like, probably a bottom 4 on paper side if you looked at the forwards and everything like that. But at least me, that's how wrong I was, and they're sitting fourth, and it's round 11.
I tipped them for top 8, but I thought that was sort of me throwing poo at the wall, and if it sticks, I could sort of like claim it.
And if you don't, who cares? No one remembers.
That's
one of
right.
those ones. Yeah,
100%. But no, I was stoked that first 2 weeks when I saw what they were doing and how they were going about it.
It was a little bit like your Bulldogs out of the 8. He was just saying that.
I knew it.
Yeah, probably
No,
more
I knew
impressive
it.
than that, but
I knew
probably cut from the same sort of cloth. Like
Touching cloth.
even guys like Jermaine and McEwen, like these
Yep,
guys are just starting to
Yes.
emerge who are just, yeah. I reckon the Titans have probably landed on a good guy in Josh Hannay. They need to learn from the Holbrook thing and back him all the way. But part of them, I think, would be spewing, thinking maybe we were only about 18 months, 2 years away from actually getting somewhere with him in that rebuild, because I thought he'd done a great job up there.
Mate, what about doing a short side play? Only Gags could do that. So, you know what's crazy is before the new administration, like, kind of, I guess, got set up or was doing things, they weren't going to re-sign Dangagai because they didn't want to pay him $400,000 a year. Like,
Absurd.
oh man, he's like a fine line, Gags.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I was at the Broncos when he was coming through. Just like a star in the making. You knew as soon as you saw him play, you just like, this guy's going to be fucking. He was, but pretty much supposed to be the next Justin Hodges at the Broncos. That's how he was kind of spoken about. But yeah, Dangagai down the short side. Shades of 97. Shades of 97.
You would hate to be Jaden Campbell in video this week, because that's one of those things where it's like, there might be a guy that gets away with that maybe once a game occasionally, where they just like, the centre might see it and just go, nah, because if it doesn't come off, like I look like a dickhead.
Yeah.
It just looked awful.
Yeah, and also it'll happen, like they're coming out of their end and it happens there, and someone like covers tackles and they make 40 metres and you kind of forget about it. But for a try to happen, you're just like, fuck, I'm getting, and there's no defence. There's no like, oh, you know, I was looking at this, or someone didn't communicate to me.
Just switched off and it was on camera. And yeah.
Oh man. In regards to some other good performance from the Knights boys, KP, like, just when he's sweeping around the back there, he is just so dangerous. Like him and Reece Walsh, their ability, they just create space. And it's like, when you watch them, it's like, are you running that differently to other fullbacks? But there is just something about their ability to run on an angle which puts defenses in two minds that, like, for example, Teddy, and I know Teddy's a totally different fullback, and I'm not bagging Teddy at all, but when do you ever see Teddy running those really beautiful lines? Like, it just doesn't happen. And as I said, he's a different kind of fullback, but it's like, surely Teddy could do that. But it's so detailed, it's so nuanced, he doesn't do it. If you know what I mean, he can't do it to a degree.
But like, even just, you know, they're obviously missing Bradman Best at the moment, but whoever they go, and I don't know when he's back how they're going to fit Fletcher Sharp in, but he has to be there somewhere, obviously.
Mate, I heading into this year, I'll be honest, I was like, Fletcher Sharp's a gun, like an absolute gun. But is he such a gun that you rejig your whole spine for him? No, I was like, put him on the wing. I'm getting to the point now where, no, I'm a believer. I think he's such a gun. I think you just got to get him in your spine. I think
100%.
Sandon Smith's the one that probably has to make way.
Yeah, and, you know, that's so tough on him because he was gun. Like, he set up 2 tries on the weekend, you know, but yeah, I think you have to. And they're going to have guys in their team. We've seen this. I think against the Rabbitohs, we spoke about a few weeks ago, where Humphries missed a tackle on Ponga. You got all these guys in your side where one-on-one, they can just completely do you. Like, just out of nowhere. So when you got guys like, you know, down that left edge, you're going to have it where it's like Ponga, either Sharp or Best. Like, they're 2 guys there where down a wide 4, like, good luck. Like,
Good luck.
Yeah.
Pretty much one-on-one, you're not going to tackle him, pretty much.
That's what I mean. So I just think it's a matter of their middles. I think they've really stood up. Still a bit
Trey Mooney's
concerning,
been
though.
outstanding.
He has been. Yeah. But, like, you look at the tries the Titans scored. Like, you had Curtis Moran crash straight through the front door. You had Pascoe crash straight through the front door. So there's still probably work to do there in terms of being able to compete with the top sides. But, yeah, I love what they're doing.
Titans, spoke about it a little bit, but as I said, I can't be too critical. I really do think it is coming together. I love Pascal. I think he's a gun. I actually didn't know. He's 26 years old. Did you know that? I thought he was a rookie.
I thought he was young as.
Yeah. He's 26. So that's actually a good thing because it means he's a bit older, a bit more mature. You're probably going to get more consistent at him. Yeah, so I thought he was great. Look, I like Zane Harrison. I do. I think there's something about him. I think that I just hope, and I think Hane would do this, just give him time. Just give it and back him all the way in. Don't put pressure and make him feel like he can't be confident. Because there were periods there where I like what he did. Outside of that, I'm just trying to have a look. Oh, here's one thing. Bo Fermor's errors. Fuck.
Yeah, I know.
Like, he's just... He had so he started really slowly, had a couple of good games, but the amount of errors he's had this year, like, he's always had an error or two, kind of. But I don't know. I'd love to compare his error count now, this time of the year, to compare it to last year. Because maybe I'm just noticing it more, but he just has these errors in crucial moments. He'll get like a short ball that he needs to hold on to, and he'll drop it, or in the play the ball or whatever. So he's just got to find a way to sort that out. Because we're talking about an Origin level edge back rower, but he just here or there he has an error.
Yeah, I just think across the board they just need to solidify that aspect of the game in terms of like too many errors at the moment. A couple of like brain fades on their edges where they just leak points. Like, because if they can fix that game management and that discipline side. Early on in that game, a couple of times when they got late offloads and like Jaden Campbell just took off, you're sitting there, you're just going, holy shit! Like, how would you stop this?
63% completion. Fuck.
That's
going to kill you. How do you win a game 63% completion?
Nah, it's just not happening. It's just not happening. One bloke I wanted to give a bit of a rap though, a little bit of a silver lining, and he's been great this season. Phil Sammy. I mean, I thought probably a little bit stiff to miss out on a wing spot. Nothing against Jojo Fafita. Congrats to him on getting a start, but he's been playing in the centres, Jojo. Sammy's been on the wing all year. Knocked out another 241 metres, 94 post contacts on the weekend. He obviously played in that series a couple of years ago, the COVID Origin series, but I reckon he's put together a pretty solid year, despite, even though the Titans have been a little bit up and down.
I wonder whether that kind of, is that a giveaway that Walker will be on the wing and Jojo Fafita will defend at centre?
Yeah, you boys know I love a rugby league conspiracy theory. I love this one. Yeah. I reckon there's a very good chance. Like, I don't understand why you would do that otherwise. Like, you want a centre defending at centre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Sammy, like, I don't know why you'd pick Fafita over Sammy when, like, they're both guns. Like, I'm happy for Jojo. But I think Sammy's been doing it for longer, as you said.
Yes.
Yeah, so there would have to be, in my opinion, a specific reason for it.
That's a great yarn. Look, it probably won't come true, and no one will hold us to the fire for getting that wrong, but I love that yarn.
Because, I miss a lot of them.
Okay, on to the next game. Warriors defeat the Broncos, 42-12. And I know there's a bunch of Broncos fans. They want me to get angry at the refs. Were the refs diabolical? Yes, they were. Mm-hmm. There were probably, let's say, the first 7 penalties, 4 or 5 of them were definitely penalties. We got to be honest and fair dinkum as Broncos fans. There were ones that were definitely penalties. The sin bin, in my opinion, was outrageous.
That was ridiculous.
Outrageous, because the rule is supposed to be if there's 3 ruck infringements on the line, then that's when you can start thinking sin bin on the third. That was the second ruck infringement for the game for the Broncos. How is like 7 penalties from like a hip drop, from a head high down there, or an escort? What the fuck does that have to do with a second 6 again holding the ruck? Like, the sin bin is because you're trying to intentionally slow the game down. So what you're trying to tell me, Ashley Klein, is they were intentionally hip dropping and head highing people to slow the game down. Is that what we're saying here? Outrageous. So there is that. However, Warriors were way better, way more clinical, and they looked like a top-tier side, and the Broncos didn't. The Warriors didn't make the Broncos make all those errors, and the Warriors played exactly the way you should play if the other team wants to give a bunch of penalties away. High completion rate, a lot of pressure. They were outstanding. I thought the Warriors delivered and like the fact they lost Tanner Boyd, which obviously our thoughts go out to Tanner Boyd. My God, terrible timing. Devastating. But then Tamati Martin comes on and kills it. The Warriors, I thought, big game, and they absolutely delivered. Did everything you want to do in a big game. And we just spoke about the Titans, how are you going to win completing at 63%? I think in the first half, they barely made an error, the Warriors. They were so good. They were so just everyone, like their front row killed the Broncos, like absolutely killed them. I thought the Warriors were outstanding, absolutely outstanding.
They were outstanding. I think, so gutting, as you said, for Tanner Boyd. But it's a credit to their system. Tamari Martin, sorry, rugby league mouthful there. He comes on, they don't miss a beat. They don't miss a beat. He scores a try, he sets up 2. Their system just rolls on, which I thought was incredible. I do think, and I'm not a Broncos fan, I thought you guys were pretty stiff. I think that it's hard to understand, especially the one that I thought was more ridiculous. I thought the Simeon was ridiculous. How do you clear high contact on Walsh
bro,
and then he gets HIA'd for that kick?
And it was a late shot too.
No, but that's what I mean. It was late. It was like you've cleared it from being high, but it was high, but then you HIA him. It's like you're penalising a team who didn't do anything wrong. Like it just made zero sense.
Like if you want to say it wasn't late, like I can say, was it late enough for a penalty? I'll say no, it wasn't. It wasn't so late that it should have been a penalty, but it was still after the ball was kicked. So you've got that factor of it. Whatever happened to their bodies relaxed, you can't hit them. Like fuck. Anyway, whatever. I still think the Warriors were way better side. Way better side.
They were. I thought Leka Halasima was way busier. We spoke a couple of weeks ago about how you'd love to see him do more, like 13 runs, 122 meters, 6 tackle breaks. Like was more actively looking for work. I think Guru made a great point talking about the Origin teams before about he can understand why Jackson Ford missed out. I'm more in the camp though of like I don't know how you could possibly not pick him on form. Like he topped the tackle count again, 32 tackles. He's so busy. Like it's different when you're a winning side like Queensland. If Queensland are going for guys where we sort of go like say like a Trent Liera, oh he was great for us last year. We're going to back him in over a guy who's in better club form. I understand it. We lost last year and we lost awfully.
Yep.
Pick the guy who's in red hot form, especially when he's like front row partners. Yeah, I thought he couldn't have done much more to get picked, to be honest. But Aaron Clark is always really good too.
Mate, Aaron Clark. Is it the biggest like jump in form ever, or at least the last 5 years? Like think about it. We're talking about a guy that couldn't make the Titans starting side when they were struggling. We're talking a guy that barely got the 13 role. Like sometimes he would come at 13, but a lot of the time Holbrook would pay him at 9. I just never understood it. He's gone to the Warriors and essentially every week he's a top 3 13.
There is no way that they could have been as seamless against the Broncos as they were, losing your 7 that early without having a guy like him at 13. It was
good, bro.
Unbelievable.
He's so friggin' good. And he just he gets through a mountain of work. His defense is good. He's kind of he's a smaller body, but he's nuggety, so he's hard to kind of get contact spots on. He's good. He's so good. And it's really good to have in the squad because there's going to be a lot of young guys that probably can relate to Aaron Clark where coming out of the grades, especially, the young Polynesians, they're almost like they're built for rugby league. So you can come through the grades and be told you are the man. You're going to get everything given to you. Everything's easy for you because you're just so gifted. And to my understanding, that was Aaron Clark to a degree where he just thought, like, it's all just going to happen for me. I'm a gun. And he had to go away and go, actually, I've got to work really hard once I get to NRL. Because once you get to NRL, everyone's a gun. And so he's a really good player to have in a squad to some of the younger guys that are super talented, that everyone gives fucking high fives to and says they're the best ever. To say, mate, doesn't matter how good you are, you still need to work your backside off because you see the dividends it's played for Aaron Clark. He's essentially a lock for New Zealand now every single year. He is there or thereabouts for Dally M. He might go back-to-back Dally M lock of the year. And he's crucial to what the Warriors are doing.
Yeah, he's been unreal. And another guy who's sort of similar kind of vibe, Wade Egan, the North City Bears legend. I thought he was outstanding, like very creative around the ruck, which I wouldn't have. I've always seen him as more of a toiler and like an effort guy.
Oh, really, Egan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I just think the way his running games come along because it's hard in a team too when like you got halves that want the footy, you got a really dominant 13 that wants the ball in his hands as well. Like kind of makes it hard to not overplay your hand, but I think he's found a really good balance. Like he scored a try, set one up on the weekend as well.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought he was great.
Another guy I think is maturing each time he plays is Ali Liatawa. I think he's been great. Their front row rotation, it's the best in the comp. Fisher Harris, Barnett, and then you got Clark and Jackson, and then Vaumunga coming off the fucking bench. Like, bro, they're going toe to toe with any forward pack.
Absolutely, they got to be the benchmark
They're the
for
best,
this year.
yeah.
Yeah, for
They're the
sure.
best.
They're just too big, and with the new rules and stuff, those guys just coming on and tearing you up through the middle.
What is Fisher Harris's? Does he start getting talked about in the Glenn Lazarus areas if he takes Warriors to a premiership?
Without a doubt.
Surely.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I know Glenn Lazarus did 3 teams. I get it, guys. I'm just saying, like, if he takes the Wars to their first ever premiership after winning 4 comps, bro,
Yeah.
what are we talking about here?
I think also just on Fish, like people often talk about Yo and how incredible it is because it is that he was sort of a back rower centre on the bench and then he turned into the 13 that he is. Fisher Harris played a lot of back row early on.
Yeah,
as
he's
well.
an edge.
Like
Yeah.
you wouldn't have looked at him and gone, he's the alpha, and he became that. I'm really looking forward. 2 weeks we've got to wait, boys, until we get to see him play the Panthers, and I think it's going to fall sort of in between Origin, so they shouldn't be missing too many people. It'll be a really good first look
That's
at
good.
where they're actually at.
Wow. That's the litmus test, isn't it? Like how they go against the Panthers will really define, are these guys the real deal? I think they are the real deal. I think Tanner Boyd gone is massive, but maybe it's Webster's system that is just so good that you just plug and play.
Boyd's a huge out. They've obviously got Metcalf around the squad still for the rest of the year. They've got Tamari Martin. They've got Jet Clear. They've got some options there. So interesting to see how they go because he's been so good so far this year. Tanner Boyd. Thought Dallin with Tenny's legs out was very good on the weekend. Couple of tries, over 200 metres. But just very quickly off the field, well done to the Warriors fans once again. Defended their title as the best fans at Magic Round. There was more Warriors fans than any other team, including Broncos fans in Brisbane.
Wow.
It felt like, I mean, technically it was Warriors home game listed on the site, but it really felt like one yesterday. The volume and stuff. I don't know if you were there or you heard it before the game. They read out the two teams at the same time, and you get a huge cheer for all the Warriors players and a huge boo for all the Broncos players. It would have been so weird for those Broncos players at home. Being like, what the hell? Where are we at the moment? They were outstanding, the Warriors fans.
I'll never forget a game they played against the Titans, like maybe last year. It was genuinely like,
Yeah.
every time the Titans touch the ball, they're getting booed at their home ground.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And Gold Coast, obviously, there's a lot of Kiwis there.
Yeah, do you reckon the Warriors are the most loved most loved club by fans outside of their own?
I think so.
Fan base?
Yeah, I think at the moment.
I think so. I think Knights as well, just because of the Joey thing. Like, he's just so loved. But I think what they did in COVID, the Warriors,
100%.
I think a lot of footy
We are.
fans remember that.
Yep.
They're exciting too. Like, they're
Exciting
always
brand,
sold
yeah.
out, you know. So, look, incredible performance from the Warriors. Onto the Broncos. It's starting to get serious, you know. Like, it's weird because it feels like they've had a pretty good season, but when you actually look at the amount of where they're sitting on the ladder and the wins they've had, so they're currently sitting 12th. They've won 5 games, which is only one more win than the Melbourne Storm. That's crazy. They've got the same. They got only one more win. They got 2 more wins than the Dogs. The same amount of wins as the Tigers. We've been talking about how poor the Sharks season's been. The Sharks have a better points difference and also the same amount of wins. It's starting to get a bit concerning. I know they've had a lot of injuries, but it's going to start to pile up. And before you know it, you're not even going to be able to get close to the 8. So, look, they look a bit tired. They look a bit fatigued. Hopefully, the same thing happens as what happened last year, where they freshened them up in the middle. They took the pedal off the metal a little bit and let the boys freshen up because they look flat. They make silly errors. Their defense, some of their reads on the edges are really poor. They better turn it around soon.
Well, it's hard because obviously Payne Haas, huge out, right? But I sort of try to focus watching them on like what else are they lacking here, and I thought like their 9s, like Corey Pakes, he had 2 runs for 12 meters. Ben Hunt had 1 run for 6 meters. I think they probably still need a bit more creativity from those guys around the ruck. And you could be like, oh, obviously they've got halves who want the ball in their hands, but like if you're getting a quick play the ball or Carrigan pokes his nose through or something, you need guys that can sort of execute on that, especially against such a dominant pack being the Wars. And I just don't think they're getting enough out of that at the moment. But they also had a lot go against them. But as you were sort of alluding to then, like how long are you going to sort of
Make
them
excuses.
leverage off? Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, okay, were there a bazillion penalties? Was the game already over? Yes, it was. But the second half, for about 20 minutes, they had they pretty much had the Warriors camped down there and they couldn't score. So, and yes, I know they're fatigued from the first half, but like even they didn't need, like Jesse Arthurs ran for 60 metres, Shibasaki 60 metres. Like, mate,
You need more out of them.
you need more. Jesse Arthurs, he's a veteran now. Shibasaki's an Origin player. You need more out of the boys.
Yeah, again, like we spoke about before, performances like that makes it hard to understand how he ended up being the guy on that bench. I thought it was really funny when Reynolds scored that first try. It was like a carbon copy of when he scored against the Roosters in 2012 after the siren, that mad comeback game.
Yep.
Where it's like a loose offload and he comes back off the left. Like, it was pretty funny. It was like exactly the same. But yeah, it's concerning.
Like, I'm just looking at this. The outside backs for the Warriors, 216 metres, 104, 145, 85, which is actually quite down for them. And then you look at the Broncos, 167, 64, 64, 112. Just like, need to be better. Too many errors from Karapani, Walshy as well. So, look, it's got to sort it out soon.
13 penalties compared to 5.
Yeah, that hurts.
I don't know how you felt.
And
as a
12 of them
fan.
were in the first half, I'm pretty sure.
Like,
Yeah, it was 9-0 at one point, the penalty count.
Were
So-
they that bad?
They were bad, but they weren't that bad.
Yeah,
They were ill-disciplined, but they weren't that ill-disciplined.
I tend to agree, but again, like that's probably another area that they can probably get more out of themselves.
Yeah. Okay. On to the Panthers defeating the Dragons 28-6. And look, it's still a big win, but this was all about the Dragons. I thought the Dragons, okay, they got beaten quite handily, but man, I thought the Dragons were great. I really did. I think that everything they were up against heading into this game, me included, I thought it was going to be 60 points. I thought it was going to be a drubbing. For most of the game, until the last 10 minutes, I think it was 22-6 or maybe even 18-6 or something like that. I think the Dragons should hold their head high. I thought they were really, really good, really gutsy.
Yeah, they were brilliant. I think they were very hard done by on half time. I was blowing up. I was blowing up.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Poor old Cookie. Game
Like-
250. Just give it to him.
Yeah, that. But also, I was like, are you really saying that? Look, he had control of the ball. I thought it was more than fair. Like it was at that point a contest for the ball. I think they've sort of.
And he didn't contact his hands as well.
Yeah, didn't make any contact with his hands, which is very hard to do in that situation. Like you should reward that guy for it. To say that he had control, and then they end up with a penalty where they almost score down the other end. Like the ball spills loose. You're like, surely they don't get that unlucky. But I thought the Cashman brothers were fantastic. Tuapolotu and
The money man, baby.
the money man too. Sully. Some of their outside backs I thought were really good, and yeah, it was a bit of a running joke going in that they'd get absolutely pounded. And I think even though they let in 2 late tries, the scoreline probably flattered Penrith a bit. Like I thought they really showed up as best they could, the Dragons.
Mate, the money man was outstanding. So the money man had a try, 25 runs, 260 metres, 92 post contact, 7 tackle breaks, a line break. Like they've been missing that out of their outside backs. Just big numbers, big carries. Then you go across to Sully 100 metres, Holmes 100 metres, and Setu 100 metres, and then you got Gutho 211 metres. Like that's great.
Yeah, he looked good back at fullback. I know that was sort of the unpopular opinion. They wanted him to change when they were sort of under the pump. But I think at the moment, like what he can give in terms of effort, they still need. Like both Cashman brothers, like Toby made 59 tackles and Ryan made 44. Like I used to think that it was a bit funny when people would be like, oh, like these younger guys, they're the future. I was like, surely these younger guys can't be that good that they can hang their hat on the Dragons. Between them two and Hamish Stewart, they absolutely are. And if they can get the best out of Keon, straight away you're going to see them be more competitive like they were yesterday.
And what's crazy is like they completed 76%. So imagine if they completed like 85 or something like that. So like there's a lot to like there. There's a lot to like there.
They would have beaten a lot of sides.
Yeah. What do you think of this one, mate?
They ripped in. I thought they showed a lot of ticker. They probably were unlucky not to have a try there at half time. They kept in the wrestle and they, kept it a lot closer than a lot of people thought they would. I think they probably one of the, weirdly, even though they lost by 22 points, one of their better performances of the season, really, against a team that not many others have been able to put a dent in this year. They've looked just a cut above everybody. A lot of Origin reps in their team as well. I thought, it was a lot closer than a lot of people expected. There's a lot of record score chat, all that sort of thing, but they should take a bit of confidence out of it in a strange way, the Dragons. I thought they were okay, all things considered.
I thought Atkinson's kicking game was like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Mate, he kicked for 700 metres.
Yeah, which is fantastic. I also think, like, they haven't fired a shot since, obviously, but the Bulldogs, when they beat Penrith, I always thought, like, when you look at Penrith's lineup, the one place I'd be trying to get at would be their left edge. And Bulldogs did a really good job that day of doing it. I thought Dragons did a really good job. They had a couple of near misses down their right edge where they got the Panthers' left edge quite well. They just couldn't quite convert it into points. So I think if a couple of calls, like if they get that cookie try and if they hold the footy a couple of times when they went down that side, like could have very easily been a closer game. But, at the same time, Penrith probably realised they were in a bit of a shit fight, clunky Sunday night game and just did enough.
Wet weather, fucking the pits. Okay, on to Penrith. That left side's becoming a bit of a concern, that left side. Like 6 missed tackles from Casey McLean and obviously plays inside him. Like when they get to finals footy and the games is usually tight as anything, if you're a team and you go, listen, we can get 12 points out of the left side, they've got to fix it. Look, it's not alarming. It's not like they're still winning games, still on top of the table, still the best team in the competition, probably by far. But it's a very obvious spot to go to.
Yeah, because they've only lost one game. You sound like a dickhead saying it, but like that left side should be exposed more than it is. And you see little glimpses of it. I think I'm still trying to figure out how Penrith, I think it's just because like they just kick so well and like defensively they do a good job of covering it before it gets there. But couple of times we've seen glimpses of sides going at them where like it is exposed there, and yeah, at the back end, I think there'll be some sides that we were speaking about earlier that at their best. Like that's why in 2 weeks' time, can't wait to see how the Wars get at them.
Yeah. What do you think of the Panthers, man?
Yeah, I mean, did what they had to do. Little clunky. Yep, conditions weren't great, but it was a very kind of Panthers sort of performance. Like they just kind of ground them away. Didn't completely blow them away or obliterate them as a few people sort of suggested they might, but it was never really in doubt. They never looked threatened. There's a few little things they probably need to tidy up a little bit, like that left side, like you said, but pretty on brand for them. Comfortable, in control, and pretty clinical.
Yeah. So, look, good win. Move on. Panthers, they get another win. They stay on top of the table. Can't ask for much more than that. Jenkins gets in the 2 more tries. Incredible stuff.
After a bit of a drought, hadn't scored for 3 weeks, and then bang, back with another double.
Yep. So big Milky Jenkins, Silky Jenkins is back. White Buffalo. Alrighty, it's time for Face the Music, brought to you by our friends over at Sportsbet.
All right, only 5 games this round, shortened round because Origin next week. Of course, the Canberra Raiders kick us off on Thursday night, $1.96 outsiders against the Dolphins, who are $1.88. The line's half a point, so make of that what you will. But what do we like here, boys?
I'm going to go, because Hammer's out. Who else is out for them in their back line? Selwyn.
Yep, Flegler.
Oh, Flegler, Plath. Ooh. Okay, just wait a sec. Okay. Let me just look at these odds. Sorry. I'll go Raiders 13 plus.
Okay, 410.
Yeah, can I do Roos for him this week?
Yeah, go ahead.
Fantastic. Go Raiders 13 plus.
Yep, 410. Matty?
Raiders head to head.
Raiders head to head. I will go Raiders 1 to 12, 315. All right, on to the next one. The Canterbury Bulldogs. $1.89 favourites against the Storm, $1.95. Yes, that is legit. The line's half a point in this one as well. Obviously, a lot of outs for the Storm. Liero, Grant, Munster. List goes on. Doggies haven't been going that well, but they're slight favourites on Friday at 8 p.m.
Bulldogs 1 to 12.
310.
Dogs head to head.
Yep, $1.89.
Dogs head to head.
I'm going to go the Storm, $1.95, head to head. Dragons, 5:30 on Saturday. They host the Warriors. Dragons, $4.45. The Wars, $1.21. 13.5 points is the line at Cogra.
Dragons 13 plus.
$12.50.
Dragons line.
Yep.
I'll go Dragons head to head.
Wow, Dragons at $4.45.
Nice,
I'll go the Warriors, 13 plus. Warriors to cover the 13.5. Then we are on to 7:30 Saturday. Manly, $1.22. They host the Titans, $4.35. 12.5 points is the line. Kohler out for the Seagulls. Tino out for the Gold Coast Titans.
Titans 13 plus.
$11.50.
Manly 13 plus.
Yep, $1.83.
Manly minus 12.5.
Yep, I'll take Manly to cover as well at Brookie on Saturday. Then to bring us home, North Queensland, $1.65. They host the Rabbitohs, $2.25. 2.5 points is the line up there at Townsville.
Rabbitohs 13 plus.
$5.10.
Cowboys 1 to 12.
Yep, $3.05.
South with the start.
I've got to do something. Fucking hell.
Cowboys minus 2.5 for me. That will bring us home for Face the Music for round 12.
Alrighty, that's us done and doosted. As usual, we will go and fuck ourselves.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.